Good morning, good afternoon, guys. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Let's see if this mic is on. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. I just saw the mic on a few minutes ago. Hold on, y'all. Let's see something. I think, okay, it's on now. I don't know. I think YouTube, not YouTube, what is this called? StreamYard. StreamYard is having some technical difficulties. We're going to see if we can still do this live, though. So I won't get behind schedule. But anyway, if it does start acting up, then I'll just do a pre-recorded video and just place it up. Otherwise, like I was saying, good morning, good afternoon. It is 9:28 a.m. out here on the West Coast, April the 11th, 2025. All right, so welcome to Shades Tube, guys. Let me go ahead and do that copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. That entire copyright disclaimer, like always, is in my description area. Part of it is scrolling across that banner right there, and it will be in my comment area once this video has completed. All right. Welcome to Jermaine. What's up? What's up? Happy and blessed Friday to you. Happy and blessed Friday to everybody. Welcome to everybody in the bushes and everyone who watches this in the replay. Y'all, sorry about last night, but from time to time, Shades 2 don't get a chance to do a nighttime, live. So then I usually come and do it in the daytime. All right. And we are still going to do our Fuckery Friday live tonight. Unless something comes up, then I'll do it tomorrow. Okay. Just so you guys can know. All right. Oh yeah, don't forget the thumbs up, guys, if you enjoyed this video. Let me get to it, because y'all know I'm on my phone. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe below and hit that bell notifications so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. Make sure you share and leave a comment. And if you guys want to show additional support for this channel, you can do a super sticker, super chat, or you can copy yourself a membership. I forgot to put that up there for $4.99. Or you can do a Cash App donation at $Shades2. All right? Thank you guys in advance for that. You said it sounds loud, but a little distorted. Well, it's not up loud. I can't help that. That's StreamYard. What about now? Jermaine, you complain too much for me. How about now, Jermaine? Does it sound distorted now, and does it sound too loud? Let me take the mic away from my mouth. How about now? Does it sound better now? I had to mic the phone up to my mouth because I was thinking you guys can hear me, so I pulled it back. How is it now? You say it's okay now? If it's okay now, just say it's okay now. Or if it's still loud, I turned the volume down too. Because like I said, on the phone, I cannot hear anything. I cannot tell how I sound or anything. On the computer, though, it's different because I can hear myself and everything. Here it's harder to, you said sound good now? It's harder to do it on a little old, cell phone. I don't know how people do it and stuff. So it won't be no videos, but I will be sharing this information with you guys, like always. Y'all make sure y'all check out my other videos as well. My shorts, my Dollar Tree hauls, the 15 top things you can buy at Dollar Tree, my regular videos, not apartment, but the house blog, and then the other lives in my reaction videos if you watch Country Wayne. All right? I got a lot of stuff going on. Okay, you said keep going. Okay, so I got the phone put down now. So y'all can be able, so I won't sound too loud and stuff and things like that. All right? So today, guys, we are going to be talking about a couple of things. Actually, it's more than a couple of things. We're going to be talking about Lil Durk. They claim Lil Durk was trying to run free, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get away so he won't get incarcerated. And let me see what else I got here. Remember, I always forget what I'm talking about, because it was like I made this yesterday. So let me go look at the live real quick. Hold on. Let me look at it to see. Let me turn this volume down so I won't hear myself on my other phone. So it's Lil Durk, and then I know we got some Diddy news, okay? Some tripped out Diddy news. They still talking about him hanging the child, the person over the balcony, okay? They're still talking about that. Because I know I told you guys about that before. So I don't know. I mean, if they got him with another child, I don't know. But I know one day they're going to think it's back in the news again, okay? And then I got some updates on Anthony, which is, I'm glad somebody finally said what I was thinking, all right? And, because people are just basically being racist, I believe, saying this dude, calling him a teenage iller. I mean, did they do this to other people who unalive people, when they were teenagers or they unalive teenagers. Okay, they didn't do that. So we're going to be talking about that today, and then I got some other information to tell you guys about as well. Okay, so again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Now we're going to go ahead and start off with this live and everything, and get this show on the road. All right, so let me go to my actual live myself so I can know what to talk about. Because y'all know Shades too be forgetting. Because I do so much content, guys, along with regular daily activities. I be doing a lot of stuff. So I be like confusing all this stuff sometimes. But like that's why I go to my live to see what to talk about. Okay, so we're gonna first talk about, I don't know what the heck I'm over here doing on this phone. So we're gonna first talk about um talk about. I spelled his name wrong too. I forgot the end. It's just a typo. We're going to talk about Karmelo first, okay? And the reason why I like discussing him first, because some people just come here to hear about Diddy and things like that. And I think Karmelo Anthony's case is very, very important, especially as Black people. Especially if you have a Black son or even daughter, it's certainly very important. It should be for us. And this is something that we should be talking about as content creators on YouTube versus other stuff all the time and foolishness. Because the way they are doing this child, and I call him a child because he is a child to me, is plainly ridiculous. It kind of reminds me of McGee. I can never remember that dude's first name sometimes. It kind of reminds me of him because they know good and well he did not strangle himself. They know that someone did that to him and they covered it up. So it's just a shame how they do us in particular. All right, and it's just on everything. But we too need to take notice and start doing things and stop sitting here covering foolishness all the time and cover real stuff. It's okay to talk about celebs, honey, but you got to talk about real things that are affecting our lives. You know what I'm saying? Because celebs are a whole different area. Yeah, Javion, thank you, Jermaine. I don't know how I always forget his first name and stuff, but I didn't forget him though. That's the main thing. Just like I haven't forgotten Cupcake McKinney. Okay, just like I told her mom, April, I was never gonna forget, her daughter, and her birthday is coming up this month as well. So happy birthday for Cupcake, little Cupcake. But yeah, it was a shame what they did to her. But I'm not going to talk about her case because her mom really don't like to, um, you know, relive that. And I'm pretty sure she still see it on social media and things like that. But anyway, happy birthday to, you know, little Cupcake. All right. So let's go ahead and cover the first thing that I have. Let me go to my phone and see what I got over here for um, Carmelo. Okay, so anyway, I got an article here saying that they are doing. Let me turn this down. Okay, I already got it down. Okay, because I got my other computer on too. I just can't do StreamYard on it right now because my mic is not coming on. It was on for a minute, then it just went off. I think it's associated with OneDrive. I'm not sure, but anyway, in this article, somebody finally said it. They said double standard. Carmelo Anthony can't claim self-defense, but Kyle Rittenhouse can. Okay, y'all remember Kyle, right? Y'all remember him? He claimed self-defense, and we know good and dead going well that was not self-defense. All right, we know that wasn't. But again, I believe race plays a role into a lot of things. And for people say racism still don't as this doesn't exist, you guys are crazy. Okay, you guys are crazy because it does. It does. Anyway, Austin Metcalf's father asserts that when it comes to the unaliving of his son, this was not a race thing. This was not a political thing. Now, as we know, Austin, a white high school student from Texas, was fatally stabbed during a confrontation with another student. That student is 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, who is Black. And this happened during a track meet in Frisco, Texas, okay? Now, the altercation is believed to have started after Austin attempted to remove Anthony from an area under his school tent. Now, Anthony has been charged with first-degree murder and is being held on a $1 million bond. Lawyers for Anthony have asked for a bond reduction ahead of a hearing next week. Meanwhile, Collin County District Attorney said on Wednesday that Anthony will not face the you know what penalty if he is convicted. And I'll tell you guys more about that as well. Now, in a recent interview with Fox News, Jeff Metcalf said, "My son is gone and he will never come home again. I want to clarify something right off the start because I have already heard some rumors and gossip. This was not a race thing. This was not a political thing. Please do not comment if you do not know what happened. Try not to turn this into a racial thing. It was not. Do not political politicalize this. It is not. The thing about it, let me stop right here because he says this, but the public is doing just that. Okay. Now, when you see Caucasian kids do stuff, they don't get up there and call those Caucasian kids a white teenage murderer. Let's keep it real. What about all those little white boys who shot up schools and stuff? You're not hearing them say the white teenage murderers. And for one news article to put that there, and I think I have it. It's plainly ridiculous, and I wish his parents would do something about it because that doesn't even make no sense. They should not be doing that. First of all, the dude is innocent until proven guilty. Now, granted, he did already say he did it. Okay, it is what it is. But he said that it was self-defense. Okay, we went over everything, and we don't have to be there to know what happened because we're reading from the newspaper. Okay, what they are telling us. So therefore, we are going from that. His dad wasn't there either. He's just going on what his son is telling him and what other witnesses are saying. Okay, he wasn't there either. All right, none of us was there. So we're going on facts that we are reading that these witnesses are stating. Period. Okay, and the reason why we say it's a racial thing could be playing a role into what people are saying and how they gave him a $1 million bond and things like that is because when you look at other cases that are similar in some degree, the outcome is totally different. Just like with Diddy's outcome. They say he's a threat to get out to run and to intimidate witnesses. But what about all the other people who are charged with similar or more crimes and they are out on dead gone bond? One in particular, the Abbey Crombie Finch ex-CEO. He's out. I don't care about him being sick. All right? I don't. All right? And what about some of these other people, other actors and stuff? And the political figure who has not even been charged and was accused of doing stuff. You're not calling him names. You guys are not saying anything about these people. So yeah, race does play a role in it. I don't care what his dad is talking about. I'm sorry that his son got unalived, but at the same time, he also needs to accept some type of accountability. His son should have never went over there, stood up. He should have never stood up. He should have never confronted this dude, and he damn sure should have stopped when the dude warned him, "Don't touch me." You don't proceed to touch anyone. And I see a lot of people overlooks this. That is what's wrong with this country today. That's why you guys are seeing so much weird stuff happening today because no one takes accountability and no one stands up for anything. They're too scared that they're going to get a strike. They're too scared some other people are going to come to the chat and say something. You say something up here, you're going to get told off. It's just on everything, point blank. I'm going to let you speak your piece, but if you say some stupid stuff, you will be told. And that's on everything. I don't even need to block you because you know good and dead going well. This is race plays a role in this. And you know how they are classifying this dude is not right. You know good and dead going well that dude should have never touched this little boy. You don't grab on anyone because let me tell you why. Because when you grab on people and they are telling you not to, even if they're telling you, if they don't say anything, you still don't grab on anyone because once you put your hands on someone, you are invading their personal space and you are making them feel threatened. And I hope that little boy's lawyers tear those prosecutors up. Man, because if I wish I would have went on and got my law degree and everything, I really do. And if I could have been his lawyer, I would tear them up. I'm not joking because you cannot do this. All right, you cannot do this. You cannot put your hands on people. Then you got people in the articles, not articles, but in comment section saying, well, that was still excessive force. The thing about it, when you grab someone, you don't know what's going on in that boy's mind. When you grab anyone, you don't know what's going on in their minds. Okay, you don't know what they're thinking. They may be thinking you get ready to grab them and unalive them, like you can't unalive somebody with your hands. Come on now, y'all need to stop. Stop it. You see people out here all the time do the same thing, and then one person ends up doing something a little bit excessive. But when people are into physical altercation, no one is thinking about that. They're thinking about making sure they stay alive. Don't y'all know that? Goodness, the whole entire thing should have never happened. Okay, it should have never happened. Austin should have never put his hands on that dude. He can stand up, he can talk, he can tell him to get out of there. That's the only thing he should have said. And went over there and got those daggone coaches, point blank. Why haven't anyone said this? You had coaches out there. Why weren't they called? They should have been the ones to tell that boy to leave because he shouldn't be here. That's it. And none of this would have happened. And just say if he would have got crazy then you have the police come. Point blank. And it is what it is. I know some of y'all don't like the police, but it is what it is. Okay. My son is a police officer. Actually, he's a detective. Okay. So I'm not going to sit down up here, and bash the police. I mean, some police are a hot ass racist mess, but you do have some police that are not like that. Okay. Point blank. So the thing is, when you put yourself in situations, though, the police have to be called, then it is what it is, in my opinion. Okay. It is what it is. So if Anthony would have started acting crazy or anything, and the coaches felt like they needed to call the police, then it is what it is. But under no circumstances should Austin have put his hands on that boy. Period. And I don't know why people don't say that. That's crazy. And I'm not condoning what this little boy did, Anthony, but I'm not going to condone what Austin did either. All right? Because he should have never did anything. If he would have never did anything, this would have happened. When someone tell you to leave them alone, leave them alone. Goodness. Now, anyway, now let me finish this reading. Now, like I said, let me read that part over. In a recent interview, Jeff Metcalf said, "My son is gone and he would never come home again. I want to clarify something right off the start because I have already heard some rumors and gossip. This was not a race thing. This is not a political thing. Please do not comment if you do not know what happened. Try not to turn this into a racial thing. It was not. Do not politicize this. It's not. Okay?" Now, Jeff is referring to commentary from various figures in the conservative media ecosystem, to which helped spawn. It spawned White Lives Matter, and that was trending on X, which is formerly known as Twitter. And it led to viral tweets like legacy media would call this a hate crime if racists were reversed. To think about it, and he's telling people not to make this a race thing, but yet everybody else is, okay? But on the other hand, when you have certain things done to this young man that don't be done to kids of other race when they do serious crimes, it is a race thing. All right. Why does he have a $1 million bond? That's the first thing. Why are certain news articles calling him a teenage murderer? They are already convicting this little boy. And then everybody keeps on forgetting these are kids. Jermaine said, did his mom, run to conservative media? She knew the way they would cover this. Of course she did. So I don't know what his dad is talking about. All right. And like you said, like it or not, in this country, it's going to be a race thing. So he can miss me with that BS, and that's on everything. Okay. Now, hold on. So they said there was other racist imagery to boot, along with the pathetic cosigns of reverse racism from Black cheerleaders such as C.J. Pearson, co-chair of the GOP Youth Advisory Council, who posted, "The blind tribalism in the Black community must end. The same people who sought to make George Floyd a hero are now trying to make Carmelo Anthony a murderer, a victim. My prayers are with the family of Austin Metcalf." Yeah, and that's crazy. And the thing about, let me tell y'all something. Even with George Floyd, I don't care about his background. We're talking about that day when everything happened. The police shouldn't have done that. Point blank. It shouldn't have been done. The dude was telling them that he was claustrophobia or something like that. I can't remember. When he was resisting to get in the car, all the stuff they did was just plainly ridiculous. As a cop, you're supposed to know how to control the situation and know what to do. And you're supposed to stay as calm as you can. You should never let your feelings come into play as in regards to you hate this race and things like this. Um, certain people, I'm not going to say I hate anybody because I don't. Certain people I don't like, but you would never be able to tell it. Okay. You wouldn't. Okay. Because when you're in a professional environment, even if you don't like someone for whatever reason, that should stay with you. Certainly as a police officer. All right. It should have been no reason why they had that officer had his knee on that dude's neck and the other officer standing around watching. If that would have been my son, I would have went off on my son for real because that doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I'm so glad he's not a bad cop. I'm just really glad he's not like that. He does not do that to any color. Okay, you should. That's not cool. And they really need to pick better cops and stuff, and they should be tested periodically and retrained and things like that because it's just out of hand. I've seen cops just shoot down the Latino dude back in California. I think that was last year. I covered the case. The dude was doing nothing. He was sitting on the sidewalk at that time. He went in his pocket. They thought it was a GUN and started shooting. You know, Coming to find out, he didn't have a weapon. He didn't even act like he had a weapon. The dude was out of his mind. And they unalived this young dude. Jumping to, just overreacting. And I know they can't just stand around and wait, but what they should have said, you guys, nobody never look at the things how it should be done. They should have told him to put his damn hands up. Put your hands up in the air and keep them there. And as he has it, while he have those hands up, another 2 cops should have walked over there from different angles and arrested him until they found out what was going on. Point blank. Put your hands up in the air, and if he did not comply, you keep on asking him until he does it, period. As long as he's not actually, pulling out a weapon. To me, it didn't even look like he was pulling out a weapon. I'm going to be perfectly honest about it, So a lot of times I do think cops overreact. They are human. I think some of them do be scared and things like that. But still, if you take that job, you got to know. You have to know. Okay. Hey, Tara, thank you so much for coming. And as far as with this dude, I'm gonna say it again. I don't know what his dad is talking about. I mean, yeah, we don't want people to make this a racial thing or a political thing. But the thing about it, people have already done that, including his wife when she ran to conservative media to talk about it. Period. So this rest of this article says, much as I can understand that Jeff Metcalf is a grieving father making a public plea in earnest, we live in America where everything is racialized, and racism is very much a driving force for many. And to ignore that is just plain dumb. And respectfully, whether Jeff is conscious of it or not, he did contribute to the problem. And he definitely did. Now, in a separate interview, though, Jeff said that while he did forgive Anthony, he noted, I'm not trying to judge, but what kind of parents did this child have? Let's stop right there. What kind of parents are you guys? Okay. Your son touched him when he was asked not to. What kind of parents are you guys? Because if you told my son here, or even my oldest son, to not touch you, if since he's a detective, it's different. But let's use my younger son. Okay. If you tell my youngest son, a dude to him, don't come up here talking to me, he may still talk, but if you say, don't touch me, he's not going to touch you. All right. And if the dude say, stop talking to me, I'm pretty sure he's going to stop talking to him and walk away. Why did Austin feel like it was his duty, his responsibility to confront Anthony and to physically remove him from anywhere? Why did he feel like he should do this when you got all of these coaches on that field that could have done that? Not put your hands on him, but ask him to leave. All right, point blank. And then if he did not want to leave, then you tell him, you didn't even have to tell him, just call the police. I don't know why people tell people anything. Just call the police. Because say if he had a GUN and you running your daggone mouth, he's gonna go in his bag and get in and start shooting. So you don't tell anybody anything. You just say, son, why are you underneath this tent? It belongs to, our team or whatever. So we would like for you to leave. And then he probably said, because it's rainy, blah, blah, blah. So, okay, when it stopped raining, we would like you to leave. Because why? How was him sitting underneath the tent on his phone bothering anyone? So even if he would have said, okay, it's raining, I don't want to get wet, the coach could have said, okay, well, when it stopped raining, I want you to move. Point blank. And then if he did not move, then the coach can proceed to call the police. Okay, point blank, and have them assist them off of the field or whatever, the bleachers or whatever. The little canopy tent thing. He wasn't inside an actual tent. It's the canopy thing, which is a tent too. All right. So that's what I'm talking about. So all of this could have been avoided. People are not saying the real. Yes, his son got unalived, but also his son should have never touched this dude. It doesn't matter what people are saying when they say you should use the same force. People don't be thinking about that when they be mad. You see, from time to time, where people be fighting, especially out here, they get out their cars in road rage, start fighting, another person have a knife or the GUN. It's honestly, it's not a fair fight. But who told the person to get out the car in the first place? Just like with this situation, okay? He pushed the boy. We don't know exactly what happened because witnesses lie. Don't y'all know that? Kids lie. They would take up for the other person. They're friends, all right? So I hope they have cameras out there. I really hope they had cameras, working cameras, and they capture everything, including audio, on video. I really do. Because I believe it's more to the story. And even if it isn't, the boy should have never put his hands on him. In order to push somebody out, you have to physically grab them, not just place your hand on them. You either have to physically grab them or you have to push them forcefully in order for them to move. Okay, so you doing all this, his brother standing over there, plus the other teammates. Good and damn well, this young kid probably thought all of them was going to come over there and do stuff. So of course he's going to go in his bag. Unfortunately, it was a knife. Okay, and unfortunately, his son got unalive. But at the same time, again, we can't be putting ourselves in situations and then try to run and act like we didn't do anything. And no, and some people are also saying, why did he have a knife? The thing is, we don't know why he had a knife. I'm pretty sure they probably know now, but maybe he had a knife to protect himself in case somebody messes with him, because maybe someone in the past was messing with him. We don't know that. Everybody keep on talking about bullying. Listen, I don't think he knew those kids. Okay, not that boy. Okay, that's what they claim anyway, because I'm trying to figure out how did they know that he did not attend that school. So they must have, because listen, how do you know who attends your school? You've seen every student? Okay, and nobody asked that question either. How did they know this young dude did not attend that school? When they first came up there, they knew that. I mean, when he first confronted him, because they were sitting, I know one brother was sitting next to him. I don't know if both were, I can't remember, but I know one was sitting next to him, not right next to him, but he was sitting right there by him. And then I guess they noticed that he did not. Maybe they noticed he wasn't on that team. Okay. Because how would you know he did not attend that school? They would find that out later. But when you read the article, it said that he knew, basically, because you could tell he knew because of what he said to the boy, what Austin said to Anthony. Okay. That's how you can tell that he knew that he didn't go to that school, but they don't know each other. So again, I believe it's a lot of missing parts. I don't believe everybody's telling 100% truth. I believe they did more than pushing this boy, because the reason why I say that is because why would he say, punch me and find out? Clearly somebody must have threatened him or was trying to, or getting ready to punch him. Because why would you just out of the blue say, punch me and find out? Okay, so you mean to tell me Austin said this, you don't belong in this area. You don't go to this school. And then Anthony say, well, I'm not leaving. Make me leave. And then Austin said, he stood up and said, okay, I'm going to ask you again. And then he proceeded just to touch him lightly to make him leave out of the tent. You think I believe that? With kids? Listen, I used to teach. Okay, I have a bunch of kids myself. Some are grown. One isn't. And I know kids do stuff. You can't pull that over my head, okay? I've been around kids. I love being around kids. I get along with kids better than I do grown-ups. I'm going to be perfectly honest. That's why I wanted to teach. That's why I worked at a daycare center, all that type of stuff. Did the after school program, everything. That's why I did it, because I have always liked other people's kids more than anything. That's before I had kids. Before I had kids, I just liked other people's kids. Okay. But, and then when I had my kids, I like mine too, and then other people's kids as well. But so I've been around kids for a long time, okay? And I know they do things. And I know they change stories up and they don't tell 100% truth, especially when in regards to, their friends or siblings or whatever the case is, okay? I know it's more to the story, all right? But even if it isn't, I still say Austin should have never touched this dude. You can confront him verbally, unless the dude say, leave me alone, then you need to leave him alone. Especially in this world today when kids be having GUNs and all types of stuff. You would get you would get everybody on the whole team unalive. Just keep you just you know doing what you're doing and keep on doing it. If somebody tells you to leave them alone, leave them alone. It's just simple as that. Let's read Jermaine's comment. Jermaine said every witness across wait a minute. Every witness account I've heard, Austin was the initial aggressor. He initiated the whole incident. Let's put that up there. He most certainly did. And I don't know why his dad ignores that. But, I hate to say this, but it's typical because they do that all the time. I have watched many videos where white people, and I hate to say this, do stuff and then they try to play the victim when they get hurt. I had an incident happen to me when I first moved out here to Cali. Now, we're just sitting up here minding our business, talking, me and my other daughter, okay? And this chick just comes out of the blue with her big ass and runs into my daughter. So we thought it was funny. We just started laughing because we were so happy to be out here in Cali. We started laughing, okay? And this was mind you, this was in Valencia. If y'all know anything about Cali, Valencia is a really nice area, okay? So you wouldn't even think this would happen out there. And so I'm laughing, she's laughing, making jokes, because I'm so happy, to be in Cali. So is she, my other kids, they are too. This was one of my dreams to move out here, right? And I couldn't believe I accomplished it, all right? Because it was so hard to get here. And we got out here and we was doing better than anywhere else we moved, and it was way more expensive out here. So hell yeah, I was happy. So this little BIT, well, not little, but this big BITCH come kneeling down to stooping down to the ground, talking about, yeah, I ran into her. What, you got a problem with it? Some shit she said like that. So I'm like, excuse me? She said, you heard what I said, BITCH? I was like, oh no, Kara, this lady tripping. She must think I'm from Valencia. So I was cracking up, okay? But I still try to, play professional. All right. So I walked up. Actually, I ran up. I said, excuse me, what did you say? She said, you heard what I said, BITCH. I said, I hit your friend or your sister. What you gonna do about it? I said, first of all, that's not my sister. That's my daggone daughter. And I said, yeah, since you want to run your damn mouth, I don't appreciate you running into her. And what you gonna do about it? That's what I asked her. And so this lady got her hand all up in my face, y'all. I'm staying in the back a little bit. I got my hands up in front of her, not directly in her face, but telling her to move her hand out of my face. And we just going back and forth with each other. She calling me names. I'm calling her names back. She ain't doing shit. I'm not really doing nothing. Okay. So all of a sudden, here comes Kara running up the damn thing. Y'all, it took me to hold my daughter back. This lady went from talking, this me and her arguing. She went from that to, because when my daughter came up, I'm not gonna lie, she started speaking her the slang and shit. Just how some people be. That's how she was. The lady switched up and started talking the same way. I actually thought she was in some type of gang or something. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, with all them damn tattoos, or she just got out of jail. I don't know. And she just looked rough. And so my daughter came up there because my daughter don't give a damn. My daughter can scrap. Okay, I mean she can really scrap. And so my butt's the weapon person. Okay, I will hit you back and stuff like that and try, fight back. But I'm saying I'm the weapon person. My daughter will fight you back and then use a weapon, point blank. So anyway, they arguing back and forth and stuff. So these men running up, holding my daughter back and stuff, because she was like, "Get your hands out of my mom's face, I'm gonna F you up." And then the lady was like, "Oh, so we see who the ghetto one is." And she was like, "Don't try to use that on me. You was over here being all big and bag with your fat ass, looking like a man. Now you want to be all like you trying to talk all proper now and shit." She was like, "Be about that life now." So yeah, I think somebody or she called security. Like they always do that. They start shit, then they want to call security. So my daughter was like, "I am not scared of no damn security or police. I don't mind going to jail, okay? Because I would beat you." She actually told her she would drag her ass through that damn mall. That's what she told her by her fucking hair, okay? It was so funny, y'all. I laughed my butt off inside. So my daughter had pushed me, told me to move back. She didn't push me back. She told me to move back. She dared the lady to put her hand in my face again. That lady wouldn't do any of that. She got actually scared. She wasn't afraid of me because my ass looked all professional and shit. My daughter did too, but you can tell my daughter don't play. Okay. You can tell she'll fight. Okay, just put it like that. I don't look like I'll do much, you know. And yeah, it was a trip. There was a whole bunch of people over there grabbing her. That's all I remember. And the security did come there, right? Um, and then when the security gets there, this lady started talking all proper and educated. But you know what? They did not buy that shit. Okay, they did not buy it. I don't know if they saw it on camera anyway, but they did not buy it. So nobody got arrested or anything. But what I'm saying, they do that a lot. They will start stuff with you because, mind you, I just told you guys the lady ran into my daughter and we were laughing. Okay, and then she gonna turn her big ass around and try to confront somebody. She didn't confront her though. She confronted me. And then when she said sister stuff, I was like, "That's my daughter." And she said, "Oh, okay. I thought that was your sister." And I said, "No, B, that's my daughter. You don't fucking run into her." Some stuff I said like that. I can't remember because you mind you, this is way back in 2013 in September. And soon as my daughter ran over there, and I don't know if it was her or somebody else, whoever, when the security, the mall security was called, she changes up and try to talk all proper, looking like a damn hood rat and everything else, and try to play it off. But he was not buying that, he wasn't. And then my daughter started talking proper too, because I don't know why they think we can't talk correctly. Some people can't, but for the most part, some people can. They just speak slang because they want to and stuff like my daughter did and stuff. But yeah, that was a trip. I bet you she didn't do shit though. I bet you that lady didn't do shit. She changed up her whole personality, her whole everything, man. It was funny as shit. But what I'm trying to say is that they do that a lot. They will mess with you. Some, not all. Some of them will mess with you, and then as soon as you start going off, they threaten to call the police, and they think you are scared because you are black. All right. And you're so scared of the police and stuff. And then the police come, and then y'all need to stop doing this, black people. When the police come, stop acting ghetto. Okay. For real, for real. Start acting like you got some sense. All right. Just like they do. Okay. Get them in trouble because if they started it, they need to be in trouble, or nobody don't need to be in trouble. In that case, nobody got in trouble. They just told everybody to stop arguing and stuff like that. You go your way, you go your way, and that was it. You know, period. But a lot of times, stories like that end up to be something different because they just take the other person's side because of race. Let's keep it real. And then they play the victim after they just started it. Similar to this case here, not saying that because this boy lost his life and everything, but still, don't ignore the fact that he started the whole thing. Okay, and then people say, "Well, why was he in the tent?" Because the hell he wanted to. Just like when you be places you don't supposed to be. Okay, at times, I think everybody have been places they don't supposed to be, and honestly, you shouldn't be putting your hands on anyone trying to make them leave unless you are security. And in some cases, security can't even touch you. I have to look at the law regarding that unless you are being like, violent or something like that. If you're just saying, "Don't touch me," or "You're going to see what I'm going to do," if you are a trained security officer, you'd be like, "Okay," and then you call the police. Okay, because security officers are not police. They can detain you in some cases, just like regular citizens can. But the thing about it, you don't need to be approaching people who say, "Don't touch me," or "You're going to find out," because they're giving you a warning. That's when you should be calling the police if they are somewhere or they are doing something that can put yourself in jeopardy. I honestly don't feel like the boy was doing anything to even warrant the police. I'm just saying, go over there and tell the coach if you feel like he needs to leave. Then if the coaches come there and they're telling him or asking him to leave, he does not want to leave, and they just really feel like he needs to leave, then it's up to them to make that decision if they need to call the police or not. All right, point blank. But I personally don't see anything he was doing besides sitting in a place he shouldn't be. All right, point blank. So if he wasn't doing anything, you asked him to leave because he shouldn't be here, and he said, okay, once it stopped raining, then I think you should wait until it stopped raining and then let the boy leave. And then if he doesn't leave, then you may want to call the police if necessary. I just don't feel like it was necessary. I just think the whole entire thing was blown out of proportion, and it's just plain ridiculous. And as far as him having a knife, I don't know why he had a knife with him, but like I said, it could be because somebody was bullying him from other areas or other schools or the school he goes to or from his neighborhood. We just do not know. Or maybe he was just scared outside. Who knows? Why do you carry a GUN? Are you getting ready to unalive somebody? You got it for protection just in case, right? Just like when you carry a knife. If so many people carry knives, it's ridiculous. I don't know why people act like people don't carry weapons. I carry weapons, but I'm not trying to unalive somebody. Okay, period. Because we are in a world today where people just do stuff to you randomly, and if you don't have anything to defend yourself, you're messed up. Especially women. So you said the kid was just trying to stay dry. Right. He was. So I don't know why it even escalated to that. But some people think they're privileged and they can just tell you what to do and you better do it. And if you don't do it, they would try to make you do it. I wish somebody would put their hands on me, okay, when I'm telling you not to. The last dude who did that ended up in the hospital, almost not being alive, who put his hands on me and then supposed to. And that was self-defense. You can't be putting your hands on people, okay? You cannot be doing that because you don't know what the other person is thinking inside. You don't know what is going on in their minds. And you just shouldn't be putting your hands on them in the first place. You're not their parents. You're not in authority. You should not be doing anything. If somebody is doing something that they shouldn't be doing, or you don't want them in a certain place that they shouldn't be, then you go to the proper people to let them deal with that. Goodness sake, and that's what should be stressed. And again, no, this little kid should not be unalive at all. Then people say, well, he should just fought him. No, it shouldn't have been no fight either. Do you not realize people can get unalive while fighting? You can choke somebody to, you know what? You can kick them enough times to unalive them. What are you guys talking about? It shouldn't have been anything happening. No fight, no stabbing, no anything. This is what's wrong with you people out here in America. It shouldn't be anything happening. It shouldn't be no physical altercation. This little boy should have went over there and called the coaches. I'm sorry. All right? And then y'all wonder why all these people be doing all these violent acts, while all these kids be out here shooting up schools and classmates and stabbing classmates, because you guys are sitting here condoning this behavior. It shouldn't happen on any level. It's like he shouldn't have got stabbed. He should have never put his hands on him. Period. Now let's go ahead and finish this. And when you forgive people, let me just stress this. When you forgive people for real, you talk in a forgiving manner. All right? It's just on everything. When you forgive, you talk on a forgiving manner. How can you say you forgive somebody and you're saying stuff that you should not even be saying? You should be keeping to yourself. You're saying that what kind of parents does he have? Okay? Listen, you got a lot of parents who raise their kids properly. I know y'all like live in the twilight zone, right? And the kids end up doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. And it's not the parents' fault sometimes. Sometimes it's just these kids and who they deal with, who they hang around, and things like that and what they get into. So stop blaming parents for everything unless you got a kid that's being and out of trouble and his home life is deplorable. Then you can blame the parents, okay? But when you don't know, okay, or you don't see any evidence of it, don't say that. Because from what I read, he has a 3.7 something grade point average. All right? Some people are going around saying he was expelled from school for having a knife. I don't know if he was or not. And just because you were expelled from school for having a weapon, it doesn't mean that you're bad. You could have had that weapon because somebody was messing with you in school, and those damn teachers don't do shit. And y'all know that's the truth, because look at how many kids that got hurt in school, unalived, or they committed the S word on themselves because they were being bullied. and the teachers couldn't do nothing. So sometimes kids do bring weapons to school. Okay, I remember when I was in school, junior high school. I'm telling y'all too much information. Well, anyway, in junior high school, I went to an all white school. Okay, on the way to school, they used to be screaming out the windows, people, cars, or whatever, talking about Nigger, go home. So I'm gonna tell you straight up. I was like, I ain't stupid. I'm gonna start putting a weapon in my purse, my backpack. So I got a knife and put it in my backpack. I sure did. Just in case one of those white people decided to mess with me. Okay. And I remember when I was in school one day, that daggone, I don't know how they knew that I had that daggone knife in my backpack, but I got suspended. All right. Suspended from school for having a weapon. And I was only like, I had to be 14 or 15 years old. And I wasn't a bad kid. I had straight A's and B's because my mom didn't play that. But I just was not going to let those white people mess with me if they would have. Because when you're out there by yourself and somebody, a group of people come to you and you can't do anything, you're messed up. All right. And I was not going to be one of those statistics. Okay. So that doesn't mean somebody is bad because I had good grades, never got in trouble, never been in jail, didn't mess with nobody, was quiet and everything else. So it doesn't mean that you're bad because you carry a weapon. So y'all carry weapons, so all of you guys are bad. That's crazy. Until they come up with some proof showing me that he got a criminal background and he was in and out of trouble in school, that's the only way I'm going to say he has some stuff going on. All right? Until that proof has been shown. And it has not been shown to me. I saw his stuff saying that he saved some child life or a couple years ago from drowning. Okay, I saw that. I saw his grade point average. He was a good kid and things like that. That's what I saw. All right. So anyway, let's go over here and read this. As for the people who raised Anthony, according to a statement from Bill Clark, his attorney, okay, his new legal defense team, Anthony and the entire family are sincerely saddened that a life was lost and offer their condolences to the family of Austin Metcalf. All right. And remember, Anthony even asked while being detained or questioned, was Austin okay? And he was crying. Even when you look at his his mug shot, you don't see a iller in his eyes. Let's keep it real. When I look at other pictures of him, I don't see that. He looks like a decent kid. Now, all kids do stuff. Even mine did little things, even though they were good kids. But they did little bitty things. Okay. All kids do something, honey. I don't care what y'all say, because you don't be around your kids all day. They all do something. I have seen good kids do some things. All right, especially being a teacher. I mean, they have done some things, but you got some kids who really do awful things. Okay, non-kid like things. Always remember that. Anthony family also asked for the public not to rush to judgment about their son. According to the arrest report, one officer who responded to the scene said Anthony told him upfront, without being asked any questions about the incident. He said, I was protecting myself. And that's what he was doing. He did not know what those kids were going to do. And he was walking toward the squad car. He was emotional. All right. He said he put his hands on me. I told him not to. And once in the back of the car, he also asked if Metcalf was going to be okay. How many illers do you see asking if somebody is going to be okay when they did it on purpose? Hell, even when I had to hit that dude when he ran up to my car in that aggressive manner 3 years ago, y'all, when I turned around, not only was I turned around to check on that chick, that I thought he was trying to kidnap. I turned around to make sure that dude wasn't unalive. And when I saw that he was gone, I knew that he was okay. So when people don't be intentionally doing stuff, they usually show some type of concern. You know, when people intentionally do stuff, they don't be giving a F. Now, granted, when I had to hit that dude, I didn't care to the point of, I'm not going to get out my car and go check to see how he is. No, I wasn't going to do that because remember, he ran up to my car trying to do stuff to me, and I wasn't going to have that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not stupid. I'm not ready to go approach no man. And then I'm thinking that I done put him down, and I did, and then he unalived me. I'm not stupid. All right. The short time I was in law enforcement, when I first went to college, I was, going to the classes and stuff, going to the courthouses, sitting in on cases and stuff. I've seen a lot of stuff. I know you can't do certain things, point blank. Because you would think somebody is hurt and they don't be, and you going over there to see about them. It's like when you do with injured animals and then they tear your ass up. That's going to be your fault. That's stupid anyway. All I did was turn around to check on that girl first to make sure he did not actually grab her, and then just to make sure he wasn't unalive. That's it. Okay? Period. But usually that's what some people do. Not everybody, but some people do that. And this little boy, Anthony, was concerned. He didn't mean to unalive this dude, but they shouldn't have put him in that situation. This dude said, I wasn't there, but Anthony doesn't sound like the violent, angry black brute raised by morally deprived savages being depicted on most racist corners of the internet. All right? Let me read that again. He said, I wasn't there, but Carmelo Anthony does not sound like the violent, angry black brute raised by morally deprived savages being depicted on the most racist corners of the internet. This article right here sounds like it was written by somebody in the United Kingdom because they are using the word brute, okay? He also said he certainly sounds far less arrogant and vengeful as Rittenhouse often has in interviews and online. But yet y'all condone this thug, Rittenhouse. Okay, you condone him. Shh. Anyway, he said doubtful facts will disrupt his critics' perceived narrative, though. But fortunately for Anthony, people are trying to make up for the imbalance in treatment. As of Wednesday afternoon, a fundraiser for Anthony hosted on Give Send Go is hosted there. You guys get that right when you talk about it. They have raised nearly $300,000 for his legal defense. Now, mind you, some people have been writing, he doesn't deserve this, but yet they raising money for illers all in jail, in prison. Okay, but yet they raising money for other people doing crimes. Y'all are so damn crazy. It's like on everything you guys are. There's nothing wrong with them raising money for his legal defense because I don't think he's guilty. I think he did it in self-defense, and his parents think he did it in self-defense, and Anthony knows he did it in self-defense. So nobody cares what you racist ass people are talking about. And I don't care if you come to my channel and leave any comments because over here you will get told off. I don't give a shit. Okay, and that's on everything. Period. Let's see. Now somebody said one assumes all those contributing have seen enough to conclude, in spite of what anyone says, that Anthony's situation is very much a race thing and a political thing. The thing about it, some of these people are donating because they want to make sure this dude has a fair, how it's everything is done fairly, that he has fair representation, and he can be able to afford, his parents can be able to afford the best lawyers. Okay, that's why they are donating. Some people are not donating for personal reasons. They're just looking at it in a professional way, in a legal way. They're making sure, that's what I read anyway, they're making sure that this kid gets the fair representation that he can get, instead of having a public defender. Not saying that all public defenders are bad, but I'm just saying, they wanted to make sure he has the best team of lawyers that they can give him. All right. Point blank. Now let's read a couple of these comments. I know they're gonna be negative. I'm gonna read some of the negative ones too. Hold on, guys. Let me mute this real quick. My allergies messing up. Okay, I am back. I had to make sure I don't push this camera so y'all can be scared of this hair all up on my head. Oh my gosh, James too. No, she does not be combing his hair, man. I need to call. I'm gonna call it today though, for real. But anyway, let's see. So, okay, here we go. DW from Chesterland said Carmelo was looking for an altercation so he can use his knife. He sat in the opposing team's tent, refused to leave when asked, and then treated Austin, hold on, to touch him. No, I guess he meant threaten. Threaten Austin to touch him to see what happens. Race is irrelevant but very apparent that is the only reason there is even a discussion about this murder. If both kids are black or both kids are white, it's a slam dunk murder charge. Boy, shut your ass up. Okay, first of all, I doubt very seriously he was looking for an altercation, okay, because he had a knife. He had the knife, I'm assuming, for just protection in case anybody messed with him. And he sat in the tent because it was raining, little stupid ass dude. Okay, that's on everything. Y'all always sit behind these computer screens underneath fake profile pictures and shit and fake names and talk y'all shit. How about putting your real name up there and your real picture and then talk that shit? Okay, so somebody from Southfield said, well, not Southfield, his name is Southfield. He said actually he had permission from a coach to sit under the tent because it was pouring down raining. Another fact for you, Austin and his brother were under a completely different tent and made the walk to threaten, harass, and assault Carmelo. And that is the stories that I have been hearing about, okay, on everything, okay? And then somebody came back to Southfield and said, and you know this as a fact. How? Okay, listen, how do you know what the other dude said as a fact? How do you know this dude went there with the intention of starting a fight? Stupid ass. See how that goes? If you're telling that one person, how do he know or she knows because they weren't there? Well, how the hell do you know? You weren't there either. How do you know what Anthony is thinking or was thinking at that time and why he had a knife? I don't even know. So how do you know? How do you know DW from Chesterland, Ohio? How do you know that? You don't damn know. Reality Bite said Rittenhouse was Gunning for an altercation. He certainly was. But yet you guys, some of you guys look at him like he's some damn type of hero. He's a dead-going iller, all right? A murderer. That's what he is. He should have been incarcerated and stayed there. That's on everything. And Rap said, whoever wrote this should be fired. How are you going to compare what happened to this kid to what happened to Rittenhouse and Kyle case? He was attacked. One of the dudes had a weapon. The other dude was hitting him with a skateboard. This boy didn't do anything but tell the other kids to leave their tent. Maybe shove him, but his life was never in any danger. First of all, you don't know if he thought his life was in danger or not because you weren't there, like y'all like to use all the time. You don't know what this dude was thinking about in his mind. You don't know exactly if everything they said was true, and he shouldn't have put his hands on him. I don't give a damn if he did just push them. All right, he shouldn't have pushed him. He shouldn't have had his hands on him, period. This dude, Anthony, warned Austin and his brother and whomever else. He warned them, don't touch me. And then he said, I keep on seeing people keep on forgetting the fact that he said, punch me and see what happens. So clearly somebody must have threatened to do something to him. So get your ass out of get your head out your ass, Ralph, from Houston, Texas, and look at stuff really for the way it should be looked at. And like somebody said, we will all give our opinions, but the truth will come out. And I pray that they got video. I really do. That works because a lot of times they have video, but it doesn't work. You know, the camera doesn't work. So they have cameras, but they don't work. Okay. So I hope they had cameras out there and I hope the cameras do work. Okay. So somebody said, dude stabbed an unarmed teen. He deserves life. Okay. And somebody said in his defense, he could have had a bomb, a BOMB in his back pocket. We don't know. Could have does not equate to did he have it. That's stupid. Listen, we cannot convict people on what somebody could have. All right? Stupid ass. We can't convict people on that. That's stupid. In his defense, my ass. In his defense, Austin should have never put his hands on that dude. All right? Let's keep it real. 130 pounds versus 200-pound twin brothers. If that doesn't qualify as a self-defense, then what does? The pound thing, I don't know about that. But the thing is, they should have never put their hands that boy should have never put his hands on Anthony. Period. All right, because you do got some little people that can beat up big people, but you got two twins that if one would have got an altercation, the other one would have joined in. Let's keep it real. So if they weigh 200 pounds apiece, then that's 400 pounds against 130 pounds little boy. Okay, all of them are little boys to me, but I'm just saying the little kid is little. I saw his pictures. 130, damn, I weigh more than him. You know what I'm saying? Goodness, and I'm not big. He's little. Shit, my son is bigger than him. My youngest son is bigger than him. So, I mean, you got two big ass dudes walking up to you. One sitting down, one was sitting, the other one was sitting down. Allegedly, they was in different tents. Anyway, I didn't know that. I thought they were in the same tent. I did read on other things that they were separate, but people say different things. So I'm just still going by what I read from other witnesses and stuff. So, more than likely, if one brother get into it, the other brother is going to join in. Let's keep it real. In the real world, siblings join in to help. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Anthony probably was scared of that, and plus the whole team might join in. You just never know. They should have just never did all of this, okay? So Jay says, I told you guys I'm gonna read all the comments, okay? Every single one, whether they're negative or positive. So Jay from Idaho said he made a text to a friend saying he wanted to stab someone, and any self-defense he had is gone. So where is that proof at? Jermaine, did you see that anywhere? That he made a text saying he wanted to stab someone? But why did he want to see? Let's go with the scenario he did. So if he made a text saying he wanted to stab someone, when did he make that text? Did he make it as they were talking to him, or when he was on his phone randomly talking? Maybe mad or something happened. I don't know. We don't know why he said that. If he did say that, if he texted that, okay. I'm just going with the fact. What if he did text something like that? But does that mean that he was going to stab him? So somebody else said the other brother was not involved other than to be held and hold the stab wound to stop and try to stop the bleeding. Somebody said he was involved. One of the parents whose daughters were under the same tent as Carmelo witnessed the whole thing. Austin and his brother were under a totally different tent. They came, oh yeah, that's right. That dude did say that. He said they came over, the one that I played on my channel. He said they came over to the tent Anthony was sitting at and began harassing, threatening, and assaulting Carmelo, trying to manhandle him. When that did not work, words were exchanged. Austin threatened, then attempted to punch him. That's when he pulled the knife on Austin. And you know what? I believe that's what happened. I really do. This person couldn't have said it better. Thank you, Southfield Trio. And so when we was watching that dude tell us about what was happening, because he was there with his kids, sitting in a tent too, to get out of the rain, he did say all of that. And then people are trying to discredit him, which is crazy. That's what they do, though. I'm beginning to believe this right here. Let me read that again. This lady said, or this guy said, he was involved. One of the parents whose daughters were under the same tent as Anthony witnessed the whole thing. Austin and his brother were under a totally different tent. They came over to the tent Anthony was sitting at and started messing with him, harassing him, threatening and assaulting him. They start assaulting Anthony, trying to manhandle him. When that did not work, they start exchanging words. And that's when Austin threatened and then attempted to punch him. That's why, you know what? I said that probably happened though. Because why would Anthony say, punch me and find out or see? You are not just going to blurt out, punch me and see it unless someone is threatening to punch you. Let's just pretend like we're in the tent, okay? And we are the ones that's sitting in the tent, and we shouldn't be there. And somebody approach us, right? A dude and his brother maybe sitting down. I don't know. Just say Austin approaching you, right? And he's telling you, you don't supposed to be here. I don't know which one say you don't supposed to be here first. Well, anyway, Austin got into it and said, you don't supposed to be here. Blase, blase, get your ass up out of here. I don't know if he said this. I'm just saying. And the black dude is like, No, I'm not leaving. Now I'm just making these parts up. Okay, so then Austin stands up and come, to you and tell you you're gonna either leave or I'm gonna make you leave, or and then the black dude obviously is probably talking back, telling him whatever he was saying to him, I don't know. And they start bickering back and forth. And then Austin say to you, if you was a black dude, okay, I'm gonna punch you. And then Austin, then no, then you or Anthony, he probably said, punch me and you're gonna see. Because you're not just gonna randomly tell somebody to punch you if they did not tell you that they were gonna punch you. See what I'm saying? I know I mixed everything up. That's what I'm trying to say. You're not gonna I'm not gonna, if that was me sitting out there, I'm not gonna randomly say, after the dude tell me I'm gonna move you, and then I'm gonna say, well, punch me and you'll see. I mean, that does not even go with that. That's crazy. If anything, he would have said, well, like he did say, touch me and you're going to see what will happen. Everything he said had to go with something that Austin and maybe his brother were saying to him. You see what I'm saying? Or Austin was saying to him. So if Austin said, I'm going to punch you, and he probably said, punch me and see, or either he told him, I'm going to punch you if you don't move. Then he said, punch me and find out. And that's when Austin might have tried to punch him then. And then when he was trying to punch him, I believe that's when Anthony went inside his bag, pulled out the knife and stabbed him. Something like that probably happened. Because it sounds like that. Just like this lady or man is saying in this article right here. She said when it did not work, with him harassing and threatening, he was threatening him and then assaulting Anthony. When he was trying to manhandle him. Manhandle is when he was trying to push him out of the tent. In order to push somebody out of a tent, you have to be pushing them forcefully, okay? Or either you're going to try to make them stand up and push them out. But I don't know if Anthony stood up at this time. He may have already been standing up. Okay, so he would push him forcefully in order to leave, to get out of the tent. And so that's when he said once Austin threatened and then attempted to punch Anthony, that's when Anthony pulled out that knife and stabbed Austin. I believe it did happen somewhat like that. I really do. Okay, then Sandra came back and said, not true. I read the police report. None of that ever happened. As usual, they all stand up regardless of the real facts. That kid wasn't in this tent. Fact. The thing is, he don't have to be in his own tent. The thing is that the police, I read the police report too right here online. Where I read the incident report. And it said that Austin had confronted this dude verbally, and then he physically tried to push him out of the tent. It didn't go into strict details. All right. It did not go into real strict details, and even when you read the witness reports, they all basically say similar things. Now, as far as straight up grown up eyewitnesses, because all of these witnesses, I believe, were kids. The only grown up witness I heard that I think, I remember is that one dude who was on TikTok. Now, if he's telling the truth or not, I don't know, but he claims he was there, you know. Then Southfield came back again and said, ask yourself this. Why hasn't anyone that actually knew Austin spoke on behalf of his character? Bullies don't seem to get much loyalty when they become a victim. And I did read somewhere that that's exactly what those brothers are. I don't know if that's true, allegedly, you know. So I don't know if that's true. Again, until information, proof, until proof is submitted and I see actual proof of them bullying, then I'll say they were bullies. Okay, all I saw is a picture of those two brothers with the rifles, but they were hunting. So, and I said yesterday, I don't think that's a fair thing to put up there because just because you're a hunter, it doesn't mean you are bullying people. I did say that, because like I said, I'm trying to be fair. Just because you guys like to hunt, it doesn't mean people are bullies. Because Jermaine hunts. Are you a bully, Jermaine? So I mean, it is what it is. So I think people should use real proof to prove what they're saying. If they say these two boys are bullies, then show proof of that. If they say Anthony is a savage beast, show proof of him being a savage beast, point blank. And show us that damn video, the video of this altercation. Show us that. And then Sandra came back. Ask yourself, why was he there? Why did he skip school? Why did he carry a weapon to a track meet? Let's go back to this. First of all, because a kid skips school doesn't mean they're like bad. Kids skip school for many different reasons. Some skip it to be bad. Some skip school because they may be having problems in school and just don't want to go. And some skip school because they just don't damn want to go. And that's why he was probably out there. Okay. And then she said, why did he carry a weapon to a track meet? Because he probably always did have the weapon, dumbass, in his backpack. Okay. One time when I had my weapon with me, I walked into the Justice Center and had it in my purse and forgot. And so I had to go take it back to the car. So sometimes people just be having it and regardless of where they go, they have it. And then she said, bully, he was there to commit a crime. See, this is what I'm talking about. So Sandra, why are you calling people bully? You don't know this lady or man. That's what I'm talking about. You racist ass people always coming out with this bull crap. Okay? And I'm glad that Southfield Trill decided to stop responding to Sandra with her stupid ass, okay? Because why do you say this person is a bully? Because they are defending Anthony. Why? James said Rittenhouse was guilty also. I don't care what the verdict said. Both punks were looking for trouble. Okay, James. Okay, that's what you said. You said Rittenhouse was guilty, and so is Anthony. All right. But at least one thing about James, he's fair. Okay? He's not saying Anthony is guilty, but Rittenhouse isn't. All right? He was guilty. Oh, Lucille said if it wasn't a race thing, why did both of the Trend boys act like a privileged Proud Boys? If it was a big deal that Anthony was sitting there, why didn't a coach tell Anthony to leave? And why didn't they also go and tell the coach? And then Southfield Trio came back and said it was a coach that gave him permission to sit under the tent because it was pouring down rain. And I wish we can get some type of proof of that as well. But I'm pretty sure the police probably have proof of all of this if this is true. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if this is true or not. Jermaine said he read that he was given permission too. I don't, I didn't see any of that, but I didn't see everything, so I don't know. Until we see actual proof though, I just don't know. And you say even if he did, he initiated the incident, right? You know, that's right. Here we go. Let's see. And then somebody did say they need proof of that. And they say if you don't have proof, you're a liar. No, if you don't have proof, don't mean you're a liar. You're just going off of what you're reading on social media. Okay, you saying what they are saying on social media. All right, period. Just like Tigger, you are okay because you don't have proof of nothing either. You don't have proof that this dude intentionally unalived this other dude. You don't have proof of that. Nobody has proof. Let's keep it real, except the police. And somebody said, how do you know they acted that way? Were you there, sidewalk lawyer? And I say the same thing. Listen, none of us was there. All right, let's keep it real. None of us was there. We don't know what was going on in Anthony's mind. We don't know what was going on in those two boys' mind. All right, point blank. We weren't there. We did not witness the argument. That's why I want to see video. Okay, because we weren't there. We don't know exactly what happened. All we can do is assume. Just like I'm up here assuming. This is the same thing you guys can do. But don't make it a race thing, though. See, the only time I'm gonna make it a race thing is when y'all want to go there, and then I'll bring it there. Okay, but other than that, I say it went too far in the first place. I say Austin should have never even approached this dude. Period. Okay, it doesn't matter about his life or anything else because if he would have never approached this dude, none of this would have never happened. Leave that damn dude alone and go tell your coach. Go tell the coaches that this dude shouldn't even be over here. He don't even go to the school. Hell, if I felt like I needed to do something and they want him over there, that's what I would have done. You think I'm gonna walk up to somebody and just say, even if I did, ask the dude, tell the dude you're not supposed to be here. Once the dude say, leave me alone or whatever, I'm leaving you alone. And I'm just going to tell the coach. That's what I'm going to do. It's like, one time, I'm not going to lie, I was being a Sharon, opposite of a Karen. Okay. And this little young ass dude was defacing some property. Okay. And I was a little snitch. I told y'all, I'm not going to lie. The little kid was up there. Yeah, this is a very nice neighborhood. Why the hell is he up here drawing on a thing? And so I'm riding past. I said, you know what? Let me go tell on his ass like people tell on other people. So I'm not gonna lie. I called the police and told them that this boy is writing on the damn side of the thing, the utility box. The police came right out there and called him. I'm not gonna lie. You don't see me jumping out the damn car now. This white Karen, she got her white Karen ass out there, and she told approaching that dude, but my brown ass was not getting out there to say a damn thing because I'm like, this dude can have a GUN or a knife or whatever. I called the police like you're supposed to do, and I was sitting from a distance watching. I said, Karen, she was brave and shit, getting out the car, approaching this dude. Sharon didn't do that shit. Sharon stayed far apart so he wouldn't even know that I was the actual one really calling the police. The police. I was watching from afar and I called him and told on his ass. I hear the face of the property making it look ghetto as hell over here and stuff, writing all that shit up there on the thing and stuff, all them gang signs and shit that he was writing up there and stuff. Then the police told me he was a known kid that gets in trouble all the time and stuff, and he be doing the most and stuff and everything. But yeah, so a lot of people do that though, get involved in situations they should, walking up to kids thinking they don't got nothing. Now, if this dude would have took out a GUN and unalived her, and then it would have been a big deal. But I think she should have never approached the kid in the first place. You don't approach that boy. You can clearly tell what he get into, and that's why I didn't approach him. I'm not stupid. On the other hand, when I was at the skating ring 2 years ago, some kids got into it. Well, I got into that situation because the police was down the street and I didn't want none of those kids to go to jail. And that's how I got my little fingernail broken off all the way at the base, basically, trying to stop them from fighting, y'all. God, but the girl did not listen. She just did not listen. That was a hot mess. I'm never going to forget it and stuff. But so, it just depends on the situation, And I'm gonna be perfectly honest. The other dude had a GUN that night, and his cousin told him, asked him was his GUN in the car, and I told him I told him don't be going in there getting no GUN. Don't be going in your car getting no GUN. I told him that. Leave that shit right there where it's at. Of course, I had to start speaking some slang and stuff because that's the only way they could basically relate. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, they were so nice and stuff to me and stuff and everything. The girl was like, Auntie, he always be fighting me and stuff. I'm not gonna let him fight me. She was white too. She was like, I ain't gonna let him fight me. I'm gonna show him what's up. You know how it is, Auntie. I said, yeah, I do know how it is. But at the same time, you cannot be putting your hands on him first. Don't hit him because he can hit harder. She said she got him. She know how to handle him. I said, still, you still a girl. Come on now. So that was a different situation. So I got into that. But I certainly was not about to walk up to that dude who was up there writing and drawing all on top of the damn electrical box and shit. Okay, because he could have been anybody. And so we don't need to handle certain things. We need to call the proper authority. That's the point I'm trying to make. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this kid should have, he's a kid, so he probably really didn't know. But at the same time, he was 17 and he does know what a warning is. Okay, you know what a warning is. You can tell a little bitty kid, get your ass out my face, I'm gonna F you up. And that little kid is going to run away and call their parents. Okay, point blank. So you said he can't fathom it. He's not being fair. He can't see that a black man is innocent, right? Okay. And he did say he did it. So Anthony said he did it. He said it wasn't alleged. He did it. So he did not lie. He was being a man when he said he didn't allege. It wasn't alleged. He did it. Okay, because why would he lie and say he didn't do it when everybody know he did do it? Plus his fingerprints is on the knife. He threw the knife down and ran. Like a lot of kids do when they do stuff. Then people say, why did he run? Well, why did them damn shooters in them schools run? Why did they run? Y'all ask the most stupidest questions, okay? Somebody said, how can you not look at it as a race issue? Had the shoe been on the other foot, it wouldn't be an issue. Look at the track record in situations like this. The lighter individual gets off every time. And then R. Davis said, you uneducated racists are so hilarious. And then somebody else said they would be hilarious if this was comedy. Okay, then somebody else said, so Kyle shot 3 people in self-defense. The first guy was a convicted Chow, you know what, who chased Kyle and cornered him between the cars. When Kyle had no place to retreat, he shot and unalived his attackers. He then tried to run away and was chased by 3 people. When Kyle fell down, a guy with a skateboard tried to hit him in the head and was shot and unalive. The third guy was shot in the arm when he pointed his GUN at Kyle. Kyle should have unalived him for pointing his GUN at him. Now we have Carmelo. Carmelo got a knife and went to a school track meet. He went into the team tent for some strange reason and ended up unaliving another person. This person is popping again. You are a fucking clown. Okay? On everything. Okay? You are a clown from Glen Falls, New York. First of all, he didn't go into no tent for some strange ass reason. He went into the tent because it was raining hard and he wanted to go into the tent. All right? Stupid ass. And the knife in his backpack was probably already there, always there, regardless of where he went. And as far as Kyle, I don't remember that entire story, so I don't want to speak on it because I'm about to read it again. But I don't believe, from my understanding and what I do remember, that it was self-defense as he's trying to portray it was. Okay, because I don't think Kyle should have interfered with anything. I don't remember the case 100%. If Jermaine, if you remember, just put it in the chat so I can know. Okay, because I don't remember it. And we're not, I know a lot of people bringing him up, and I brought it up because people brought it up in the comment section, but we all know that was a race situation going on there, okay, point blank. And it was not self-defense. Yeah, he did. Somebody put it in here already. They said one went to a place where a riot was ongoing. Why would you go to a riot? Like you Captain Save-A-Ho. Like I said originally, Kyle should have been there in the first place, playing Captain Save-A-Ho. And then somebody said one went to the track meet, both went armed. Only one went there. Only one went where others were unlikely unarmed. Both should have stayed home. Okay, 4. But I really can't say anything about this person's comment. Okay. If Anthony did skip out of school, of course he should be in school. Okay, but at the same time, when he went to the tent, there's no harm in sitting in a tent that you shouldn't be sitting in. Okay, there's no harm. He didn't go there fighting anyone or talking to anyone. He was on his phone, minding his business, not messing with anyone. That's totally different than what Kyle did. Kyle went to that riot intending to be a vigilante. All right, that's why he went there. He should have never been there. He's not a police officer or anything else. He should have stayed his young ass at home. And as far as Anthony, he should have been in school, but he wasn't. But when he went to the tent, probably to get out of the rain, he wasn't doing anything to anyone. He was minding his own business. So even if Austin said leave, I'm still going to say Austin should have never stood up being intimidating. And then if he did threaten verbally, he should have never been making threats. And if he didn't threaten verbally, but he did use his hands, and I refuse to believe he did not threaten verbally when he pushed him or tried to push him out of the tent. He had to be threatening him verbally. Okay. I believe he was threatening him verbally because I don't believe Anthony would have said, punch me and find out, or punch and see. All right. So therefore, it doesn't matter why Anthony was sitting in the tent. He can sit there if he wants to. Okay. Haven't you set places that you don't supposed to be? I have many times, and no one ever came to push me out. If anything, they tell me to leave because you're not supposed to be on this property, or it's closed, or whatever the case is. And then if you don't leave, then they call the proper authorities, whether that be security or the management or something like that. Okay, and then you usually leave. If you don't leave, then they call the police, or a security team will come to assist you out, which they can do that. Okay, so but yeah, what's that boy's name? Austin. He did not have authority to do any of that, and he should have done it, point blank. And you say you tell your nephew, do not talk to the cops unless you are there. Don't answer shit. Well, he shouldn't have been answering the cops, but I don't think the cops was asking him those questions. I think he just voluntarily replied when they said alleged. He said, it's not alleged. I did it. I don't think the cops made him say that. I think he said that because he wanted to. And the reason why he probably didn't know that is because his family might not have ever, told him that because he probably never been in trouble. You see what I'm saying? You know, if your kids have not been in trouble and you're not used to this type of stuff, sometimes parents don't think about talking about this stuff to their kids in depth. So he may not knew. And then even if he did know, since he did it in self-defense and he feels like he's basically innocent, he probably didn't feel like there was nothing wrong with him talking to the cops and he was trying to be honest, period. That's probably why he was talking, because he's not going to lie and say he didn't do it. So how is he incriminating himself if it's proof that he did it? If there's proof that he stabbed this boy, it's witnesses. So why would he say, okay, I mean, he can say I did, it's not alleged, because he did do it. But he also said he was protecting himself. That's what he said. So yeah, he shouldn't have probably said anything, but it is what it is. He said it. But was he lying when he said it? Okay, somebody said riot. I thought it was a peaceful protest. Did anyone tell Rittenhouse that he was on suspension and not to attend the riot? Now, did Anthony School instruct him not to attend this event due to his suspicion? Excuse me, his suspension? Okay, the difference here is the fact that had Anthony followed his suspicion, he wouldn't be in this situation and the other guy would be still alive right now. First of all, it doesn't matter where Anthony goes when he's suspended from school. Dumb ass. Okay? DK in California, it doesn't matter. The thing is, had Austin not put his hands on him and heeded to the warnings, he would be still alive. Okay? Let's see here. These people say the most stupid shit in this comment section. I mean, what is wrong with these people, y'all? I know I'm not tripping. Even if he was suspended or not, the boy can go wherever he wants to. Yes, he should go home. But what if he don't? He don't have to go home if he does not want to go home. But the thing about it, he wasn't messing with anyone in that tent. He was not messing with anyone. He was minding his damn business. Austin didn't have no reason to put his hands on him. He does not own that damn tent or that field. Go to the coaches like normal people do and stop trying to be Captain Save a little boy. Damn, let's keep it real. You say he should have kept quiet because when he admitted that he did it, the cops and the public are using that as a pseudo admission of guilt. Okay, well, okay, yeah, he should have. I guess he should have kept quiet, but he probably just wasn't. Didn't even might have not known, or he felt like he did do it, so he might as well tell the truth because the proof is there. I don't know. You said I know what he meant, but these people are dishonest. That's true, but you know what? Honestly, Jermaine, he probably didn't even think about all of that, and probably didn't realize that. Okay, because I think he really felt like since it was self defense, he wouldn't even be incarcerated. I really do believe that because you're still talking about a 17-year-old, you know. And just because he is incarcerated, charged with murder, once they go to trial, and it depends on what this information his defense team has. He may not still have any. Um, he may not be charged with murder. Put it like that. Not that type of murder, first degree, or anything. It just depends because we need it. Like I said, maybe they do have a video recording that can be shown and that they have already seen, and they may know actually what happened. But I don't know for sure because he's still incarcerated. So I'm thinking it may not even be a video, or in that video, they just feel like he used excessive force. I don't know because I'm not a lawyer and stuff. Um, let's look up excessive force. Let me get off these stupid ass comments and go to excessive force. Let's look and see what that means real quick. And what time it is, okay? And then we're going to jump to the next two topics, okay? Let's see this real quick. Let's look up the definition of excessive force. So this excessive force refers to force in excess of what a police officer reasonably believes is necessary. A police officer may be held, well, they talk about a police officer. Okay, let me go. Let's see. They still talking about a damn police. What about a person? Let me see what excessive force is in regards to people, civilians. I need to stop pulling my damn hair out. Damn, I need to just comb it through. Hold on. Civilians. Let me see what that means. Here, hold on. Okay, let me stop pulling my hair. Okay, so it's the application of force beyond what is reasonably believed to be necessary to gain compliance from a subject in any given incident. So if anything, um, I can see that may happen is him using excessive force. But I think that depends on the circumstances. Because remember, what we're hearing about and what some of these witnesses that we read about is saying is that um, Austin pushed him. All right. But we don't know, we, the public, don't know what type of push it was. Okay. How hard it was, what happened before that, what happened during that push. We don't know any of these details. So, when they start investigating everything, and looking at everything in detail, checking all the witness, looking at camera footage if there's any, listen to all the witnesses and stuff, seeing who may be lying, who may be leaving out stuff, then they will determine if excessive force was used. Okay. If we're just looking from the outside, we probably will say, yeah, it seems like excessive force was used, but we really can't say that 100% because we weren't there. We don't know everything surrounding this. Okay. We're just looking from the outside. We don't know exactly what happened. Yeah, to us, it may look like excessive force because he used a knife and the dude simply pushed him. That's the way they try to make it sound when you read articles. However, with one witness talking, he said something a little bit different. Okay, he said other things transpired, which I do believe, and then I thought I read one other witness who said something similar to that as well. So we don't know exactly in detail what Austin did. Okay, because I don't believe he just did a simple push. I just don't. I believe that threats were made, that he did try to punch him, because why else? Even if he did try to punch him, he must have said something about a punch, because why would Anthony say, punch me and find out, or punch me and see, or punch me or whatever? Why would he even say that? You know? And why would he feel like it's a need to say, um, touch me and you're gonna see, or whatever he said? And why did he feel the need to grab his bag? Okay, so it must have been some type of real threat there. So this is up to the prosecutors to prove, and the defense attorney to unprove. Okay, they're gonna try to unprove that these brothers or this brother just politely pushed him and didn't do anything else. Okay, the prosecutors are going to try to prove that that's all the brother did and try to convict this little kid. Okay, so it's up to all of the evidence that they have for them to determine if excessive force was used. Initially, when the police get there, of course they're going to initially say that because they haven't investigated. Okay, when I use self-defense, they had to investigate the case to make sure that I use self-defense. Okay, so these are things that they do unless they just know 100% that it was self-defense. Like when that dude ran up to my car and tried to do stuff, they knew that was 100% self-defense. So that's why I think they did what they did. And it's not fair for us to say what excessive use of force is in regards to this case, because we weren't there and we do not know everything that really happened. We just know what we're reading and what some of these witnesses who are kids are saying and friends of Austin. All right, with exception to a few people who weren't. And the main said it also depends on threats being verbally communicated, and that's why I said it depends on what he said as well. We don't know. So hopefully there is a video, and it shows all of this, because sometimes videos don't have sound, but you can also tell by people's body language. Okay, you can tell if Austin was acting aggressive and doing the most, that's going to tell a lot. And if Anthony was sitting down and wasn't acting aggressive at first or anything, that's going to tell a lot, you know. And then also you're going to see what the other kids were doing, what his brother was doing. That's going to show everything. All right. Period. But if they don't have video, if other witnesses who are not related to these boys, who are not racist and just are saying stuff as they see it, if they saw it and tell the truth, then that's going to tell the story as well. Okay. Not his friends and all this shit who can add and not say certain things. But if you keep questioning people enough times, which I'm pretty sure they're going to do, the truth will still come out because somebody's going to slip up. Their stories is going to change. They're going to be inconsistent, like some people say. Austin has been inconsistent. I don't know because I didn't see all these videos. I can't say if he was inconsistent or if he was consistent. I don't know because I wasn't there and I haven't heard him speak. Okay, so let me see what else I got on him. Then we're going to skip from this because we've been talking about this for an hour and 35 minutes, and I got other stuff that I have to cover as well. Okay, let me go to this and see and make sure that I have anything. And I just think I just told you everything else about him, though. At least the person in the comments section did, because they just told you guys that his self-defense fund is up to 300 some $1,000. It may be even higher now. I don't know. Okay. And then I just told you about the double standard, how Carmelo Anthony can't claim self-defense, but Kyle Rittenhouse can, when Kyle Rittenhouse shouldn't have been at the riot. He went there to go and be a vigilante. And then he unalived those people. But he shouldn't have been there in the first place, though, and they would have never, confronted him. So we're not going to go over that again. Let's see what else we got for him. Okay, let me just check and see real quick. Oh, I will tell you this. So anyway, Anthony's family has been threatened, and that's crazy too. Why are you guys threatening his family? His family don't have anything to do with that altercation. Y'all stupid as shit for that. All right, they can't even go outside. All right, because their family have been threatened. They have sent them pictures of black kids. Let me get this right. Hold on. See here, look at this. This boy is holding an award here because he was on the track team. Let's see. I guess he got an award for that or whatever the case is. And he looks like he's about 6 feet too. Carmelo, he's about 6 feet. He looks bigger than 130 pounds, but he may be 130. He looks like he's about 150 pounds. If I'm, looking at this picture correctly. He's about 6 feet tall, 72 inches. So let's see. So Anthony was a football player. So he got at Frisco Centennial High School. Okay, so he was a football player. So he got an award either for track here, because this does not look like football right here in this picture. All right. Let's see here. So they said that Austin previously bullied Carmelo, but they said that Carmelo did not know Austin. But I told you guys, I asked you guys, how did he know that Carmelo did not attend that school if he didn't know him? Okay, that's why I say stuff comes out when people talk. I wonder if they really knew each other. And I remember Jermaine asking me that too, because why would you say, how would you know that someone doesn't attend your school as big as those schools are if you didn't know of them? He may not have known him personally, but I don't know because that's kind of weird. In the car? For a second, y'all. Okay. Let's see. What was I saying? So yeah, they said one of the many theories about the incident is that Austin previously bullied Carmelo, and a spokesperson for the alleged Iller's family. Yeah, they write this is not shutting down those rumors. Um, that's crazy. Calling a teenager that. Now, Dominique Alexander, a spokesman for Anthony, was forced to deny that Metcalf had bullied Anthony before the fatal confrontation. Okay. Okay, so when they talk about previously bullied, they're talking about during that incident, not that he previously bullied him in school. Okay, they're talking about during that incident that he was bullying um, Carmelo, and he probably was because he probably was talking about him, telling him get your ass about this 10 or whatever the case is and things like that. Okay, he probably was doing that, but I don't think that's grounds to do anything physically, but just make the dude mad. But when he got up and pushed him physically, and punched him allegedly, then that probably incited everything else. Okay, period. And they did say they didn't know each other. I don't believe they did know each other, but I'm still trying to figure out how did he know that he did not go to that school? Okay, unless Anthony told him he did not go to that school. Because like I said, we weren't there. We don't know how long they talked, argued, or anything. He could have told him he didn't go to that school. We just don't know. Okay, so when you see bully, they're talking about when that situation was happening. He was being bullied. Okay, and it doesn't matter if he was being bullied at that particular time because words won't. Sometimes it will, but it should make you want to. It may make you want to do something, but you shouldn't do it. Okay, I believe once they allegedly started threatening this kid, and then when he threatened to punch him and proceeded to try to do it and try to push him off out of the tent, that's how he got stabbed. Okay, I think he got stabbed because he was physically fighting him. All right, period. So if y'all are spreading um, the wrong information, y'all should stop. I mean, you can you can say what you think, but you should say this is what I think. I don't know for sure because I wasn't there. I've been saying that the whole time. I don't know for sure because I wasn't there. So I think the wording, people use should be you should include I think or this is what I believe happened because you don't know because we weren't there. But I tell you what, I bet you more stuff happened than what they are saying. I can bet that almost on anything. There's a lot of stuff missing there, Jermaine. A lot. There's a lot of stuff missing, okay? There's a lot of stuff missing. And the police is not telling us a lot of stuff either because um, you don't see it. You said if they both played football, I'm sure they had came across each other before at some point. Right, I forgot about that. So that could be another reason why he knew that he did not go to that school. Okay. So remember, just because he said he don't know someone, that doesn't mean he haven't seen them before. Okay. He just don't know him personally. But like Jermaine says, since they play football, their colleges probably play matches together. I didn't even think about that. You're right, Jermaine, on that one. And so that's why he probably didn't know. That's why he knew that boy didn't go to that school. And it could be some little rivalry there. We just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I bet you we don't have everything. I bet you we don't. So anyway, like I said, the family cannot go outside. They've been getting threats. I read somewhere that the family, somebody sent them some. Hold on. Yeah, they had graphic and racist threats, and y'all say it ain't racist, but yet they sending them graphic and racist threats. Black children with knives stuck in their head. So what do y'all say? Y'all gonna go out here and unalive black kids? Is that what you're saying? Because I'm gonna just tell you straight up, you come around my children, you won't see the next day. That's on everything. The next second. All right, because either me or them gonna do something, and that's on it. Oh, we both are. Okay, because that's crazy. Somebody said Carmelo has a right to a fair trial, unbiased, and removed of racial hatred and bigotry. That's not gonna happen. Okay, so y'all might as well not even put that up there. So somebody sending out or people sending out graphic and racist threats with black children with knives stuck in their head. Go around the right one. and try to do that and see what's going to happen. Y'all going to have other situations. I don't know why some of y'all do this. Right? It's an eye for an eye, and that's on everything. And you're going to lose two eyes, not just one. Okay? That's crazy. And so they did say Carmelo is facing years incarcerated, but he will not get the you know what penalty because of his age, point blank. And that's all I'm going to say right there and stuff. I hope he does not get convicted of first degree murder because I truly believe it was self defense. But like I always say, I'm not a lawyer or anything. But based on what I see, it seems like it's self defense to me. And once I see the rest of the evidence, the proof, then I'll know for sure exactly what transpired. But again, I still stress that if that dude would have never confronted him physically, he would have never got stabbed. It doesn't matter that he had a knife in his bag because he probably had it in there for the longest, for who knows what reason. Clearly for self-defense. Okay, if somebody messed with him, but that's what I think. I don't know for sure. You know, we have to basically wait to see what he says. Now, let me check to see if they got any updated information on Austin and on Anthony, and go from there. Wait, let me see. Y'all talking this messing up and condoning the Mendez brothers. Y'all need y'all ass whooped, thinking they should be let free after they slaughtered their family. Their family. Some of y'all be doing the most weirdest shit, and that's on everything. And they are straight up murderers. All right, but they were kids when they did it too. I believe, are young adults. You said harm mine. Let me put that up there. I know they are, Jermaine. I be hearing you talking when you telling me that. You said harm mine and yours is fair game. Not playing no games with this one. That's what I say. Okay. And I listen, I already had to let me shut up. Child, we already know shades too, Will. Okay, let's keep it real. All right. I know all too good about that self-defense stuff. All right, let's see here. Let's check him. Carmelo. I keep on getting him mixed up with Carmelo Anthony. I know he hate that they got the same name. Let's see. They still just basically repeating the same thing, y'all. That's what I'm saying. They're not really releasing any information. This is social media coming up here with all this different stuff. Let's go to TikTok and see if anybody got any more witnesses, people. Because all this information is basically the same thing. Okay, and they're just saying the same thing. No, nothing new. But remember, they're only 17, so they probably won't release a lot of information. I don't even know like a background on Anthony, okay, or Austin, really. And I don't think they're going to let us know that. But I bet you there's nothing there on either of these boys. That's why they haven't said anything. If anything, they did tell us that Austin was on, you know, him and his brother were hunters. You know, they try to, you know, obviously paint that negative, but they were hunters. And Jermaine, you hunt, so you know you can't do that. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't use that picture to try to say that they are bullies because that does not say that they're bullies. It would be different if they had GUNs pointing them up on social media saying I'm gonna F you up or something like that. That was not the case. Okay, and as far as Anthony, all I saw is that he saved somebody's life a couple years ago from drowning. Okay, that's on social media, and that he was a good student. Okay, and he was a good kid. That's what I saw in him. So I don't see anything negative like that on either one of them. So I just think that everything just, you know, just got out of hand, honestly. Even when I look at pictures of both of these kids, I mean, I don't see any rough pictures or anything. I'm just keeping it real with you guys. And again, it's an unfortunate shame that this even happened. And I wish the coaches would have came over there and assisted. Yeah, they said 3 years ago he saved the young boy from drowning. And that child would have passed on if it wasn't for Carmelo. That was in 2022. I think I remember that, the story, yeah. Yeah, I don't see anything else here. So I'm gonna tell you, his defense attorneys his team did say self-defense. Okay? That's what they're going for, self-defense. I will tell you that. Yeah, that's what it is. And I still don't see anything where it says he was suspended or anything else. I don't know if this is a internet rumor or what. Okay, and he must have cut himself as well because he had blood on his finger was bleeding or something. That's what I thought I read in the incident report. And he threw that knife in those bleachers. Okay, over 2 dozen people saw what happened, including a Memorial High School track team member. Okay, see, yeah, he had to tell him he was gonna punch him, and he did touch him. Anthony grabbed his bag, because they obviously approached him and stuff. And then once Metcalf grabbed Anthony and told him to move again, that's when Anthony pulled out his knife and stabbed him, and then ran. But he came back when he saw the police. He was outside the gate or something, if I remember that correctly. He was just walking. I'm glad he didn't run and run home and run away from the crime scene. I'm glad he stayed there. And again, they did not have a mutual combat altercation, okay? That's what the rumor is going around, okay? I don't know if he was actually punched or not. Okay, they said he wasn't, but we don't know for sure. Um, and I definitely don't know about that. And nobody said nothing about no smash phone or anything. Okay, so I don't know if that's true. We will see. We will see about that because I don't know. But the smash phone is not enough to be, grabbing a weapon. If he punched him, he pushing on him. Those are the things that's enough to, grab a weapon. Okay, the smash phone, I don't give a crap about that. I mean, it shows that the other person is being aggressive. When you look at it in a legal standpoint, from a legal standpoint. Let's see. So Austin had a 4.0 grade point average. Okay, so y'all can know that. And Anthony grade point average is 3.7 something, I believe. I'm telling you, they said that both of them was bright young men. Of course, it's his dad talking about his son. Of course, he's going to say everything positive, just like in the other boys, Anthony's case. So as of today, Austin's campaign raised over 325,000. But this, I think, was last. I don't know. Let me see what the date is on this article. Let's see what date this is on this. This was on yesterday. Okay, so there it is. Okay, let's see if they got anything else. Then we're gonna skip from this. I want to go to TikTok too to see what they got over there, and then we're gonna move on from this. I don't see any other updated information though. This is regurgitated information over and over and over again. Okay, that's what it is. Time is okay. Let me hurry up. Yeah, just the same thing, guys. Let me go to TikTok real quick, and then we're gonna leave this story because I got to get ready to get off this video in a minute. I want to cover the other two stories. Where is TikTok at? TikTok. Can never find nothing on this phone, y'all. Oh, because I definitely got to get out of here by 1 o'clock. So this dude right here is talking about. Let's see what he's saying. Hold on, just listen. One time he ran. So that's all I got to say. This is a lie. Brandon. I be. We just understood a little of this, okay? Not too much. Pilot, baby, we on your plane. Let's fly. But I'm a pilot in real life. How cool. I know, right? Let's get it. Okay. Now, let's get to the serious part of this. This is the problem that you have with social media. People getting on with opinions and they've read nothing. They understand nothing. And this is the issue we have. We already know both the individual, Carmelo and the two twin brothers were supposed to be there at the track meet. So all this narrative that he wasn't supposed to be there, he wasn't supposed to be in the tent. When have you ever known anybody to go into a tent or not be able to go into a tent when it's raining? So you're telling this guy when it's raining, hey man, you ain't supposed to be under the tent. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to anybody to tell somebody to go out in the rain and get because you're not supposed to be under the tent? Nope.
That makes zero sense. That's the first part of it. The second part of it is nobody's talking about what the police report has said. They moved the tent to cover his body. If the incident happened under the tent and under the tent only, why would they have to move the tent to cover the body?
That's true.
That indicates that they followed him out of the tent.
Yep, I didn't even think about that, y'all.
Nobody's looking at that. Nobody said anything about it. And don't take my word for it. Look at the police report. Read it again. They moved the tent to cover the boy's body.
We're gonna look at that.
Indicates that the incident didn't only take place under the tent. So he had to follow him out of the tent area, in order for them to cover the body with the tent. And that's all I really got to say. Instead of getting on here with your emotions and what you think, and he should be punished to the full extent of the law. Understand what is going on first, and then give me your educated opinion. But don't give me your educated opinion and say this is true or what you're saying is right. And that's all I got to say on that one, bro. So we're gonna go from that because that is a live. Okay, let me stop that real quick.
Somebody piss you off down in there?
Okay, we're gonna turn that right off and go to a pre-recorded video. I just heard them talking. I wanted to listen to this dude here.
There would be no GoFundMe. There would be no, we need to stand with him. Young black boy would have killed another black boy to track meet. We wouldn't hear about it. There would be no GoFundMe. There would be no, we need to stand with him. It's because he killed a white kid. And it's a race war underneath the surface of our country, mostly projected by black people against white folks.
Okay, y'all, stop at that.
So when a black kid do something wrong, black people rally around the kid that did something wrong because they don't want the white boy to be right. They don't want white people to be right. They don't want white people to be on television saying that this black kid is a thug. They don't care that the black kid, I think that some of them do care, but I think that they're avoiding the point that the black kid actually took the life of somebody unnecessarily. Let me give you a couple factors here, which will bolster the legal argument that I have. I do believe that Carmelo Anthony will be found guilty if he goes to court. I think he's going to do a plea deal because he knows he's dead to rights. His attorneys know he's dead to rights. According to Texas State Penal Code, he will go to jail and be sentenced probably more harshly than he would if he do a plea deal. I think he's going to do a plea deal, and I think in the plea deal, they're going to give him manslaughter charges, and he's only going to do 5 or 8 years in prison, which is a travesty. If he goes to trial, this is how he loses. Unequivocally. In the state of Texas, they charged him with that young black boy would have killed another black boy to track meet. We wouldn't hear about it. There would be no GoFundMe. There would be no, we need to stand with him. It's because he killed a white kid. And it's a race war underneath the surface of our country, mostly projected by black people against white folks. So when a black kid do something wrong, black people rally around the kid that did something wrong because they don't want the white boy to be right. They don't want white people to be right. They don't want white people to be on television saying that this black kid is a thug. They don't care that the black kid, I think that some of them do care, but I think that they're avoiding the point that the black kid actually took the life of somebody unnecessarily. Let me give you a couple factors here, which will bolster the legal argument. I do believe that Carmelo Anthony will be found guilty if he goes to court. I think he's going to do a plea deal because he knows he's dead to rights. His attorneys know he's dead to rights. According to Texas State Penal Code, he will go to jail and be sentenced probably more harshly than he would if he do a plea deal. I think he's going to do a plea deal, and I think in the plea deal, they're going to give him manslaughter charges, and he's only going to do 5 or 8 years in prison, which is a travesty. If he goes to trial, this is how he loses. Unequivocally. In the state of Texas, they charged him with that young black boy would have killed another black boy to track meet. We wouldn't hear about it. What do y'all think about this dude? This is a black dude talking, y'all.
There would be. What do y'all think about what he's saying? Jermaine, you hear this dude? I almost said something on camera. I almost did. People like him is the reason why black people are in the position they are in. I'm just gonna leave it like that. People like him are the reason why black people are like they are. Nobody is defending Carmelo Anthony because he's black. Okay? If we really thought he did something, if we really thought he wasn't acting in self-defense, majority of us wouldn't be defending him. Okay? You do got some people that do look at race. Let's keep it real. But I honestly believe that majority of people see this as self-defense. Okay? Because you do have some white people who see it as self-defense as well. So this guy right here is a damn weirdo, okay, for real. And that's right, stupid as hell. I should give out his damn TikTok thing. Somebody said, I don't care what race you are. That's a bad situation regardless. It sure is. And that's why I said over and over again, it should have never happened. Okay? It should have never happened. Damn. Somebody said they need to charge him as an adult. I probably can honestly know what type of black dude he is. This dude here talking. Mm-hmm. Just listen to the comments over here. That's sad. Black people, y'all got to do better. Okay? Y'all got to do better. Somebody said it's funny that Austin was the aggressor and was known for being a bully. Like, again, I don't know if he was known for being a bully. I'm gonna say that again. I don't know that. Eyewitness said Austin started it. They did say that. Don't put your hands on someone you have no problem. That's right. So somebody said, so I can knife you, cause you touch me. Listen, stupid ass. A lot of people have been knifed because they touch people in a way they shouldn't have. Okay? Period. Somebody said, what was this comment when Michael Drejka, I know I just said it one, Drake Jaka, Drejka, shot Marquise for pushing him. We need to look that up. Let me just screenshot that. We have to look that case up and see what happened. Okay, not right now, but we'll look it up tonight. All right. Somebody said stabbing someone in the heart, that's murder, not self-defense. That's a damn lie. Okay, proof is right here. That's a damn lie. It depends on what that person was doing to you. All right. Somebody said it was premeditated murder. How do you know? That's these people are weird. I'm gonna thumb down this stupid ass. How do you know that was premeditated murder? Okay, these people crazy. Okay, this dude ought to be ashamed of himself. Okay, for real. He needs to be ashamed. So let me look at his profile real quick, y'all. Hold on, I gotta check him out. Yeah, see, he glorifies not of his own. I knew it was that type, and I hate to say it. I knew it was that type, you guys. I really did. I knew it. Why does it always be like this? Why you just can't get people who are not going to be racist against their own colors? I knew he was that type, I can tell. What was this? Hold on, let me look at this real quick. Oh, this is back in March 15th. Okay, that's old. Okay, let me see what else they got on here. That's crazy, y'all. Let me see. Carmelo Anthony. Then we're gonna go ahead and move on because this case right here would have you on it all day. I had to go get me something to eat. I was on it so long. Let's see what Charleston White is saying on this. Okay, let's listen. Let's see what he's saying.
A culture that promotes,
Hold on,
propagates, follows a tragic incident where a kid who don't have emotional intelligence acted impulsively because he comes from a culture that promotes, propagates violence. Every day, all day, kill, die, nigga, shoot, kill. You can't take this in and you lack training, you lack morals, you have to have a foundation of a value system to listen to this type of shit all day long. And you don't have no emotional intelligence. You've been taught to say, man, when you get angry, think. Yeah. Take a deep breath. So he was anticipating this to happen. That's why he had the knife.
Oh my God! Come on, Charleston White.
I don't think when it comes to anybody, he almost kind of manifested it though, just by his culture, that him around it,
Hey,
having the
listen,
knife.
y'all, stop this foolishness.
Accidentally, this was a tragic.
Okay, hold on. You ever got these black Negroes who look up to other cultures? And they definitely need to cancel him. Okay, cancel him. Now, I don't know much about Charleston White. Do you know anything about Charleston White? Jermaine, I don't know nothing about him. But I will ask this question. He said that we have a culture of doing all this stuff. Yeah, we're hood rats, okay? Because let me just keep it perfectly honest. My kids are not like that. And I know other kids that are not like that, that are black. It just depends on, where you grew up at and your parenting. Okay? Um, but has Charleston White ever gotten on his social media platform and say he gonna F somebody up? Or spoke any violence? That's what I'm asking you, Jermaine, because I don't follow him. Has he? I'm waiting on your answer too, so hurry and tell me, because I don't got much longer. Oh my God, Jermaine, go ahead and answer the question. I just asked you. I said, has Charleston White ever been on his social media platform and advocated for violence? Has he ever said that he gonna F somebody up? Have you ever sat there and had beef with people? Have you ever, just incited violence? That's what I'm asking you. Now wait on Jermaine's answer, you guys. So let's see. Because I don't hold on. Because I don't follow Charleston White. I heard his name before. I heard people talking about him, but I don't know much about him. So I know a lot of people say things because they try to get the white community, um, be down with the white community and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with being down with any community, but the thing is, don't be down with a community and put your race down. Um, you say he's just crazy and shock value. Okay. The thing is for me is, um, regarding what he's talking about, I don't think it's the right way you should do it. Okay, point blank. All right. You can feel like you want to. You feel like this dude acted, did too much. I don't think you should tear down the whole community because of that. Because every black person is not out here doing crimes, getting high, doing bad, negative things. Okay, point blank. And the culture does play a role in a lot of things, but do you know his culture? Do you know his upbringing? Do you know what do you know him personally? Do you know anything about him, or are you just reading what you see on social media as well? Because I haven't read not one bad thing that's real, actual, factual proof about this kid. Yeah, in the comment sections, I see people saying stuff, but we don't know if that's true. Just like they did on the Austin kid. And I told you right here, you can't use a picture of somebody hunting and say they are a bully. And I think when people say bully, I think they're talking about with that one incident. I don't know for sure because I'm not there. I don't know these kids. Let's see what some of these people are saying in the comment section. Did somebody say even his schoolmates say he likes to fight? No way. Who likes to fight? Um, Anthony? Until I see proof of that, then that's the only way I would believe that. And even if he did like to fight, why wasn't he the aggressor then if he likes to fight? He still see what you people do. You go all around stuff. You go and pull up all this negative stuff or make up negative lies or whatever, and you use that versus asking the real question: was he the aggressor that day? Was he standing up trying to fight? Because when the dude told him to move, if he likes to fight so much and wanted to fight, he would have jumped up and said, "Nigga, get out of my face! I'm gonna beat your ass." But he didn't do that. Okay, so regardless if he likes to fight or not, he wasn't trying to fight that day because he wasn't the aggressor. Okay. So somebody said he needs to say that. He's talking about this dude here, Charleston White. He needs to say that about all the white men who have common sense, but still go out there and kill, unalive young black men just because they're black. And that's what I'm talking about. I don't know why this dude is up here saying this stuff. I just don't. And this person speaking like I say, it's not right to do anything against any race of people. Anyone standing up for murder against any race should be, I don't know about that, should be deported to another country, but you just shouldn't be standing up. You should not be promoting unaliving anybody of any race, gender, or anything unless it is, in self-defense, in true self-defense. I have always said that. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Somebody said, I don't know the last time a white man was praised for unaliving a non-white man. Come on now. Two wrongs don't make it right. Just make everyone lost. Wait a minute. You said you don't know the last time a white man was praised for unaliving a non-white man. They be praised all the time when those white police officers go around unaliving black people, black males. They do be praised. Stop lying. That's what I'm talking about. You don't face reality. And somebody said, what truth is he speaking? And I said the same thing. What truth is he speaking? The thing about it is like this. Until we know more about his Anthony's background and everything that happened during that altercation, confrontation, we should really just tread lightly when speaking about this entire situation. And that's on everything. Okay. My condolences are expressed out to Austin's family, okay, and his friends, and anyone who knew him. Okay, it was a travesty. It's a travesty, period. It's sad that he lost his life, just like it's sad that this dude is incarcerated. All right. In my opinion, this should have never happened. It should never have escalated to this point. I think the coaches should have been called. I'm never going to go against that, what I said. And I think they should have been the ones that came over there and told this boy he should leave that area if he didn't supposed to be there, or for whatever reason they felt like he should leave. If he's not authorized to be there, point blank. And in this person, thank you, Shyam. Okay, you are saying the same thing I said. I'm gonna give you a big round of applause because this is what I said. Honestly, if Austin did not want any trouble and did not want any conflict, he would have went and got an adult to remove Mello from the tent, not try to punk him out of it. And that is so true. And I'm so glad this is the only person who said the truth. And then somebody saying the adult probably would have, the grown up would have probably been hurt. Let's be honest. We don't know that. Okay? We don't know that. And then she came back and said the grown up would not have put his hands on Carmelo. Right. The grown up would have called the police to assist him out. All right. And I don't think he would have still hurt. And then they had more than one coach there anyway. Okay. They had a bunch of coaches there. That's why y'all should know stuff. They had a bunch of coaches there. So if one coach walks over there and then other ones are going to stand and look, let's keep it real. They're going to look anyway because the dude sitting down is black. So the other coaches are going to be looking if they don't walk over there with him. Okay. So I got very serious with that boy would have tried to do anything but get up and leave. And if this one person is right with this police report saying they're not telling the truth, that the boy must have been following him. I don't know if he was or not. I don't know why. Maybe he walked when he stabbed him. We don't know. These are the things we don't know. Okay, so it could be many reasons why they had to put the tent grabbed a tent and put it over him. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know. Somebody said fights can't unalive like a knife, and I said the same thing. Okay. Somebody said Carmelo should have been a better man and walked away. And then somebody said this man goes with facts. And then Dre Ghost said this dude just trying to pimp the system and make money and get airtime. And it wasn't a knife, it was pointy object he found while defending himself. I think it was a knife. I think it was a knife. I don't know what this person is talking about. I think it was an actual knife. Until they come out and say it was something else, I'm gonna go with the knife thing, okay? And as far as this dude Charleston Wright trying to get airtime, I don't know much about this dude, okay? Um, every video I've seen of him, he's always shouting, so I don't know much about him. All right, point blank. And oh, this dude said he should have walked away, Carmelo. Maybe he couldn't because when they told him to get up and leave, you know how these kids are gonna. They're not gonna get up and leave. Okay, so then when the dude was touching him, pushing him, or whatever the case is, stood up, pushing him, he probably stood up too. I don't know. He probably wasn't gonna walk away then because he probably felt like he needed to stand up to him. You know how y'all dudes be. Yeah. Right. And I agree with Rock. He said the problem really is these young kids are afraid to lose the fight. And that's why he didn't walk away. All right. Let's keep it real. Somebody said if he didn't want to unalive somebody, why did he stick them directly in the heart? When people are stabbing, because I don't know if you guys ever used a knife, but when you are stabbing people, you're not looking at where you hitting at all the time. You just go ahead and do it because you're doing it in self-defense. You're not sitting here studying what part of the anatomy you're going to hit. You know what I'm saying? You just do it. You know what I'm saying? You just do it. You just do it. Beans, I'm gonna have to agree. Let me read you first. You said they are both wrong. 100. America is full of bitterness and revenge. Over the years, we have watched uncalled for violence from all races. However, this is a black versus white thing, and it has got to be addressed. And I honestly agree with Beans. I'm gonna give you a thumbs up, a heart, because that is the truth. Okay, they are both wrong. Okay, because the reason why I say this is because not Cal. Austin definitely is for inciting everything in the first place, and for putting his hands on this dude and all that. But at the same time, um, like the other dude said before, I guess when he first asked him, just get up and leave. But it was pouring down rainy, so that's probably the reason why he didn't do it. Okay, so but if you want to deter an altercation, just leave. Okay. If you want to look at it on the sensible side, like Beans is talking about. But we know kids are not going to do that. Let's keep it real. All right. They're going to be like, you make me move. Okay. A lot of grown ups be like that. You make me move. All right. So, I don't know if this person is American or not. I think he's not or she's not. That's why she probably said that. Um, But I still say that I believe that dude should have never confronted him physically, all right, and put his hands on him and things like that, because I don't feel like Anthony would have done all of this stuff if he wouldn't have put his hands on him. Like I said, maybe he should have, like Bean said, nobody ever said that before. Maybe he should have just got up and left then, but he probably didn't want to because of ego, maybe, and also because it was pouring down raining. I don't know because I wasn't there. Yeah, same thing in JV stuff. Okay. You said LOL, they moved the tent. Yeah, they did. And you said, that's a crime scene. You just can't be moving shit. Right. I don't know why they moved it. The same thing they did in JVN's case, like you just said, taking that rope. Okay. So again, I just hope he got a good team of lawyers, and I hope that they be fair. Yeah, and this girl said, and we're gonna wrap this one up with this last final comment for this topic because I got to move on because I have to go get ready. The whole situation is sad. A young man is unalive. Another ruined his life. Two families change forever, and every comment is about race. We are supposed to teach the youth to get along with everyone, and that is true. Okay, and also teach these your kids not to be up here.
Where's TikTok at? TikTok.
Also teaching your kids not to go up here acting like you are an authority in regards to, certain situation like this one right here. You don't need to be telling kids they need to move. And even if you do tell them to move, you don't need to be putting your hands on them. You need to go get the proper people to enforce that, not you. All right? Because you're not an enforcer. All right? And stop, doing the most and just go get the proper people to help. I don't see what the big deal was about him sitting underneath the tent anyway if it's raining. And again, and also teach your kids when they can just walk away. Let me add that in there because Beans said that. And I'm telling you, that's the only person I read that said that. I didn't even think about that. As soon as the dude was verbally asking them, just get up and leave. Even if it is raining, because clearly they didn't want him there. You know what I'm saying? And then you're done with the whole situation. That's the only person that I read that said that. So again, Beans, I commend you for saying that you are right. Okay, forget all this other stuff. If he just, when that dude came in and verbally, when that dude was, I don't know if he was sitting in the same tent, he was another tent, but when he started talking to him, telling him to leave, he could have just walked, just leave, shit. Just leave, maybe go in and ask the coach and then go from there. Even though I still don't feel like they should have been saying anything to this kid, because as long as he's not doing anything, why bother people? But you do got some who feel entitled and feel like they can just go and do the world. And we do know this. And for Charleston White to get up here and say all the stuff he said is plainly ridiculous. And that's on everything. Okay? Culture. I don't think he know anything about this dude's culture. All black people culture, their environment, culture, whatever is not the same. All right? Yeah, we black, but we're not from the same type of culture. You know what I'm saying? We're just not. What is your culture like, Jermaine? Like, I remember talking to you on the phone, and a lot of stuff you was telling me about your environment and the people, your family and stuff. They don't, do certain things. You're not used to certain things. And I say the same thing. Certain things I am, but certain things I'm not. So, again, I can't say the entire black culture is the same, thing for all black people. And certainly not their environment. Okay? So anyway, I will be updating y'all some more on this case. The bond hearing coming up, all of that stuff. I will be updating you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic because I don't have that long. I got to hurry up. All right, so where am I at here? Let's see. Okay, let's move up here. Okay, so let's see what else I got on here real quick. Tonight I got some tripped out fuckery news for y'all. One with Tyreek Hill. Okay, his girlfriend, wife, or whatever she is. Anyway, Diddy. Let's go to Diddy because we've been on what's the name so long. Let me change this real quick. Diddy, let me hurry up. Let's take Carmelo off. Okay, so with Diddy, you guys, so let me show y'all this. It's gonna change in a minute. Let's give it a second. Damn, StreamYard. So let me do it again. Okay, there you go. So Diddy is hit with a new explosive accusation. I promise you this is not new. I don't know why they say new, because I thought I read something like this before, unless this is the second woman. Okay, let's see real quick. And I got to hurry up. So this was just written 13 hours ago. I don't know though, because it sounds like the same one I read before. But let me read it to you guys. It says, Sean Diddy Combs. Oh, you said I'm a country suburban boy. And you said, Charleston, that's all lies. I heard that. That's what I say, because I didn't come from an environment like that, or my culture is black, but no, we don't. No, I don't do certain things. I'm sorry. Yeah, because I remember like even talking to a certain person, and that person was speaking a lot of prison lingo and stuff. I didn't even know what he was talking about. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Certain things I just do not. be knowing, you know what I'm saying? Like even before I got in a certain sector, I'm not in the sector, but when I started watching certain things, I didn't even honestly, y'all can really laugh. Before I got in that sector, not got in it, but started watching it, I really never had an experience with a troll on YouTube because I just don't be in that type of, you know, like the stuff that I watched, they really never had any trolls. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about now, but when I was watching these videos, I never really seen trolls because people never came there and did stupid stuff, you know, or troll people. I just started seeing that on beef sectors and certain people videos, you know, in their lives and things like that. So I just don't, you know, buy into um, the thing where they think the entire black culture is basically the same, you know, because I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? I just think a lot of other factors, as well as the culture, play a role in how some black young kids are. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things plays into that role. And at the same time, getting back on Carmelo, I think it's unfair for us to um, assume that he comes from a broken family or a bad home or something like this. We don't know. We don't know what his family structure is about. Okay, we just don't know. There's no proof of any of this yet. And if they do come out with some proof, then we can go from there. But still, the overall fact is that Austin should have never touched this kid. And it is what it is. Now, he said all these lies accusing Diddy, no proof, just a what? A constant barrage of character assassination. Okay. All right, Jermaine. Okay. But you know all okay. Anyway, let's get back on this. So they said Sean Diddy Combs faces a new accusation amid his ongoing legal issues. A federal indictment and several lawsuits claim that Combs once dangled a woman over a 17-foot floor hotel balcony. This new allegation appears alongside previous charges that includes ex-trafficking and racketeering. According to legal documents, the incident allegedly took place during a night of heavy intoxication. The accusations are part of a multiple lawsuits that detail events dating back to 2015 and 2016. Now, as the case unfolds, Combs obviously is still in custody, okay? So let's see what else they're saying. Okay, let's go on up. Let's see. And they did say this is mentioned in the federal indictment, and it is supported by similar accounts in 2 civil lawsuits. Okay, so this is new. All right. I mean, they included it. I guess the new part is that they included it into the federal indictment. I'm guessing. I don't know. Okay, and we also know that Cassie Ventura suit, her stuff is also in that indictment too. So I'm wondering, the person on the balcony, is that person going to be a witness too? And well, that is mentioned in a federal indictment. Okay, I don't know when they say mention. I don't know if they mean that it's going to be included in the federal indictment too, because I'm not a lawyer. But it was mentioned in a federal indictment. Okay, but if they're mentioning that in a federal indictment, they're going to be talking about that in that court. I think that's what his team went to the judge about, so they can't include this type of stuff to be to make the jury already gather up their opinions and negativity about Sean Diddy Combs. They keep on doing all this stuff, and his lawyers are pretty good too, and they're going to end up having a what's the name, because when you find out this type of information, it does kind of paint a certain picture of this man, and then you can honestly start to say to yourself, he's guilty. He did all these other things just based off of the other stuff you're hearing about him. So you never know. So they said it in it. Okay, so this is a separate one. So the other one that they did, filed by Rihanna Bogolian or Bongolan, provides comparable details stating that the incident happened in 2016 and involved an alleged aggressive physical behavior on a 17th floor balcony. Now, both filings portray a scenario where Diddy was highly intoxicated and aggressive. Okay, so this is another woman over a 17 floor balcony. Let's see, hold on. I mean, I'm trying to see, hold on. So she said this lady here, Bongalin, she said that Diddy allegedly grabbed her and lifted her over the railing. Okay. But the question is that I'm asking, if he did, just say he did lift her over the railing, was he being serious with her? I mean, he shouldn't have been lifting her. If he did lift her over the railing, he shouldn't have done that in the first place because he could have dropped her. But you know, sometimes these stupid people do dumb stuff like that, playing around and be drunk and messed up. So, and everybody be right there letting them do it. You know, so I don't know. I mean, if in any case, if he did do this, it's crazy. Okay, period. Now you know they denied these allegations as well. Okay, just let y'all know that. So I don't know if this is real or not. So this is like the second or third person said that he lifted them over a balcony. So one is a civil, I guess. In now they said both criminal and civil lawsuits. So they're both criminal and civil lawsuits. So I guess they have this added to the indictment, if I'm understanding this correctly. What else the headline? So let's look at the headline again. Let's see. Yeah, it's in a federal indictment, so I'm thinking it's added to the indictment that he once strangled a woman over a 17th floor hotel balcony. Okay, so that's included. If I'm right, that is included in the federal indictment. And if there are witnesses, for real witnesses, then that's going to be proven. All right. Now, what's not going to be proven is the fact if they both agree to this. It depends on her reactions. If the witness say she was screaming and stuff like that, you know good and damn well he did that being mad. And if the witness say he was being aggressive and looking like he was mad and stuff, then you know that it was done, you know, under another certain type of intent, you know, to scare her or whatever else the case is. But what if they was just doing it to be jokey joke? So I mean, I still wouldn't have been lifting nobody over no balcony. I don't know. But the thing about it, they said that they are witnesses, so I don't know if it is or not. They say he was very intoxicated, heavily intoxicated. And I know I just said witnesses here somewhere. I don't see it now, but I know I said witnesses. So if anybody witnessed this, for real, they probably have already questioned them and probably will question them right there on the stand. His trial is going to be interesting to see. Let's see what Jermaine said. You said another woman in 1991 trying to cash in. You said Cassie, the extorter Cassie. Okay. You said that's the best they can do. They have no case. The feds are fishing. My cousin pushed me off the porch in 1997. I think I'll go file some charges. She didn't fall. Get over it, lady. Like I said, I don't know because I wasn't there. They could have been doing it because they both was intoxicated, acting crazy. People do crazy shit. I'm telling you, I have seen them. You know, yeah. Cause like I mean, even I have done crazy stuff. Like the time when I was up on the mountain. I don't know what the name of the mountain is, and some kids was up there too with their family. Now, what they did was really crazy. I stood up on the rock the boulder right there, almost at the end. Not at the end, but one good push, I would have went over it. You know, doing a damn TikTok video. Okay, and the little other kid, the kids over there with their parents, the boy almost fell. So I think we all do dumb shit. But I'm not getting ready to go do a lawsuit. Or anything else. So I don't know if this was like something they were doing together as a joke, or if that he did it being malicious. I don't know for sure. But if there are witnesses and they say that he was cussing and acting crazy and mad, and it's a bunch of people saying the same thing, I have to go with the thing that this could be what it was. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly honest about that, because if a lot of people are saying the same thing, I tend to believe, the people who are saying that, because there's too many people saying the same thing. So this is like the second or third person that said allegedly they were dangled off the balcony. But again, if this is true, I hope they all have real proof. Now they claim she does have proof, so we will see. We will see. So I mean, that's crazy. And this happened at Cassie's apartment. This sounds so familiar to the other one that I told you guys about, but I don't know if it's the same one. No, it's the same. Sounds like the same lady who did the civil lawsuit. Let's see. So we'll see. Like I said, she claimed that he just lifted her up over the balcony. I guess saying that he's going to drop her down there. I guess I don't know. You said she didn't fall, but I mean, if he did it with malicious intent, it doesn't matter if she fell or not. She could have fell. You know what I'm saying? She could have fallen. That's not the same thing as being pushed off the porch. You're talking about 17 feet. Okay. If he would have made a mistake in any kind of way, she could have still got unalived. All right. You didn't even know seriously hurt. She would have got unalived. It's too high. And they said he was in a fit of rage. Let me stop. In a fit of rage. So if you got witnesses, and Cassie witnessed this, and anybody else witnessed this, and he was in a fit of rage, then he did not do that just jokingly. Okay. And even though, why would you joke like that? But then again, you never know how people get their groove on, or whatever the case is. But Cassie said in a fit of rage. Okay. So we will see. Let's see what else we got for Sean Diddy coming. That's a damn trip. Okay. Damn, let's get this right here. These people are crazy as hell, y'all. Let's see. And let me hurry up. Hold on, Shane. Let's get this, because I gotta take a shower. Okay, let's see here what else we got on Diddy. What else did I say about Diddy in the title? I'm trying to think. Let's see. I can't see this. Let me see if I can see the title over here. I have to see what my title said, you guys. Hold on. Oh, we gotta do Lil Durk. Oh, let me give y'all the truth about Diddy's parties. Okay, let me give y'all that. That's why I gotta make sure I cover everything that I said. Let me hurry up. Diddy's parties. Let me go to that. Diddy's parties. Oh shit. Hold on, y'all. My ass. When I start rushing, I start clicking stuff that I shouldn't even be clicking. That's why I hate when I have to rush. Let's see. Diddy's parties. Diddy's party. I gotta find it. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Just hold on. Now y'all be getting impatient and shit. And we gotta do Lil Durk. Diddy's party. Diddy. Oh, here it is right here. Okay, so this is gonna be a video. Y'all just listen to it, okay? I was gonna let you watch it, but just listen, because my thing is messing up. I hope it's a video. Listen, just listen.
Diddy was there, having a low-key conversation with three dudes, checking if everything was ready for the night. In a low voice, Diddy mentioned that the cameras had been installed for a very specific reason. They were there just to manipulate certain people at the party. I'll leave it to you to figure out how many people Diddy snared with this setup. That's when it hit me. If I didn't get out of there fast, I'd be the next one caught in his web.
Okay,
Man, when I got the
listen
invite to
again.
Diddy's party, I knew I'd get to film some rare stuff, but I ended up seeing something I wasn't supposed to. Once I got there, the music was blasting, the place was packed, especially with a lot of girls. But right from the start, something felt off. I had the feeling I was being watched constantly, not just by the guys in suits and dark glasses, but by something else. My boy Rico disappeared into the crowd, so I grabbed a drink and went to chill in a side room to catch my breath. That's when I saw them. Hidden cameras, tucked into the corners, filming everything. At first, I thought it was just for an after movie, but no. They were pointed at spots they shouldn't have been. They were there to secretly capture intimate, private moments of the guests. I moved in closer, and that's when I caught the sound of voices coming from a dark corner of the room. Diddy was there, having a low-key conversation with three dudes, checking if everything was ready for the night. In a low voice, Diddy mentioned that the cameras had been installed for a very specific reason. They were there just to manipulate certain people at the party. I'll leave it to you to figure out how many people Diddy snared with this setup. That's when it hit me. If I didn't get out of there fast, I'd be the next one caught in his web.
Okay, so what I want to do,
And when I got the
I
invite,
want to see if I can show y'all this video real quick. Okay, let's see if I can be successful at this. So y'all can see now what they did in this video. I think they're including videos from different places too. But what I want y'all to see is a video of them standing up them short sold and stuff like that. That's what I want y'all to see. Okay. So let me see if I can do this productively without showing other things. Can y'all see this video? Wait, let me see. I cannot do this for shit in the world. This is why I don't like hold on. Do y'all see that camera? Can you see that camera? Oh, I can. Let's hold it. I don't know how to do this phone. Okay, up here. Let's see.
to Diddy's party, I knew I'd get to film some rare stuff, but I ended up seeing something I wasn't supposed to. Once I got there, the music was blasting, the place was packed, especially with a lot of girls. But right from the start, something felt off. I had the feeling I was being watched constantly, not just by the guys in suits and dark suits,
So
by something else.
crazy.
My
Let me
boy
see.
Rico disappeared into the crowd,
Can
so
y'all
I
see
grabbed
that?
a drink and went to chill in a side room to catch my breath. That's when I saw them. Hidden cameras, tucked into the corners, filming everything. At first, I thought it was just for an after movie, but no. They were pointed at spots they shouldn't have been. They were there to secretly capture intimate, private moments of the guests. I moved in closer, and that's when I caught the sound of voices coming from a dark corner of the room. Diddy was there, having a low-key conversation with three dudes, checking if everything was ready for the night. In a low voice, Diddy mentioned that the cameras had been installed for a very specific reason. They were there just to manipulate certain people at the party. I'll leave it to you to figure out how many people Diddy snared with this setup. That's when it hit me. If I didn't get out of there fast, I'd be the next one caught in his web.
Okay.
Man, when I got the invite to Diddy's
I
party,
don't know if y'all saw it all yet. Let me see. Let's see.
rare stuff, but I ended up seeing something I wasn't supposed to. Once I got there, the music was blasting, the place was packed, especially with a lot of girls. But right from the start, something felt off. I had the feeling I was being watched constantly, not just by the guys in suits and dark glasses, but by something else. My boy Rico disappeared into the crowd, so I grabbed a drink and went to chill in a side room to catch my breath. That's when I saw them. Hidden cameras, tucked into the corners, filming everything. At first, I thought it was just for an after movie, but no. They were pointed at spots they shouldn't have been. They were there to secretly capture intimate, private moments of the guests. I moved in closer, and that's when I caught the sound of voices coming from a dark corner of the room. Diddy was there, having a low-key conversation with three dudes, checking if everything was ready for the night. In a low voice, Diddy mentioned that the cameras had been installed for a very specific reason. They were there just to manipulate certain people at the party. I'll leave it to you to figure out how many people Diddy snared with this setup. That's when it hit me. If I didn't get out of there fast, I'd be the next one caught in his web. Man, when I got the invite to Diddy's party, I knew I'd get to film some rare stuff. But
So what do y'all think about that? I remember this dude when he was talking about going to Diddy's parties and he showed those pictures. Now some of those pictures are from different things, but what I was most interested in is the one that it looks like him with the man laying in the bed. I was more looking at that than anything. And then the one with them having a short shirts off. All right. Um, what's that all about? That's all I can say because I don't know what else to say about that. Let's see what some of these comments are saying. They said Beyonce and Jay-Z was there. Why aren't charges being brought up on them? Take them down already. See, the thing about this video though, guys, is the fact that we don't know for sure if those pictures right there of them in certain pictures here. We don't know if it's from the freak off party. Okay, we don't know that. They could have put all these together and make it look like it's one video. It looks like it's many different videos from different events. But like I said, that one on that bed though is a trip. I'm not gonna lie. The one on the bed, which I'm looking at now, the other one's coming from that awards show with him and J Lo. But the one when they was lying on the bed, unless it's been edited, that was a trip. Okay, and then the one with them with their shirts off, that was a trip. So again, like I said, I'm looking at it over again right now. They probably at some party right here with all them stand up laughing and stuff. I don't know what kind of party it was, but the one where you see looking like Diddy, I don't know if that's Diddy for sure, with some dude laying on the bed. I don't know if that's Diddy for sure though, and then I don't know if that was edited, but that's questionable right there, So had this dude up here on this bed looking like that. That's tripped out, Hold on. So anyway, this dude who I think did a civil lawsuit. He claimed that certain things happened to him. He saw certain things. I don't know. I think that sounds like that dude who said he was invited there and he really wasn't trying to go. That's who it sounds like. And nothing happened to him though. I think he left. If that's the same dude, yeah, I think that's who that dude is. Okay, so that's a trip, you guys. All right. But anyway, that's it with the Diddy news. Okay. I do have other Diddy news. I'll tell you guys that on every Friday later on tonight. But just let me know in the comment section what y'all think about that video. Do y'all think it's real or they edited that? Did you see it good? If you didn't see it good, go to Life is Good on TikTok and you'll see now I don't know where this came from. Just type in Life is Good on just go on TikTok, Life is Good. Or type in Diddy's party where that dude don't look like Diddy when I look at it. I don't think that was Diddy. They try to make it look like Diddy, but I don't think that was Diddy. I really don't, because I'm looking at it right now. But I don't know. It could be him. I don't know for sure. So just type that into TikTok. Life is Good, and the video may come up, and you can see it for yourself more clear than what I just showed you guys. And then just tell me what y'all think if you want to. J Lo I think she's got on a bra. I don't think she's naked. I think she had on some type of bra, but her chest probably was showing. I'm not sure. She might have been braless though. I'm not sure because they got it blurred out. If that's not edited and she's sitting up there with not no bra on around the men there, Jay-Z, I think that was Jay-Z with his top off, and some other people, that's crazy. But if they are into freaky stuff and nothing illegally is done, we can't say anything. If we don't like it, we just don't attend none of them. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people be doing all this weird shit. But I don't know, guys. This is weird. Yep. It's very strange. Okay. But anyway, let's move on. So yeah, I don't think that's Diddy right there, but I'm not sure. It looks like him, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me see this picture with J Lo again. Still. Let me see if this is J Lo. Hold on, y'all. And then why these people be saying all this stuff? Why don't they go to the police then? J Lo, I can't tell. It look like she has on a bra. I'm not sure. I can't really tell. She may be bra-less. And if this was a real picture and they up here naked and stuff and without no clothes on, one guy's face is taken. I look like what's the name though? Now these are So I think that was Usher and Jay-Z in that picture. I'm not sure, but it looked like it. But I don't know if this is a true picture either. Like I just said before, this is allegedly. Like I said, it could be edited, Photoshop, or whatever. I don't know, or it could be real. We just don't know. But in that picture there, you see all of them shirtless, and then it looks like J Lo does not have on a bra. I thought she had on a bra at first, but I looked at it clear, and it just does not look like she had on anything. And I'm looking at it again too, just to see. And this does not look like. I don't know. That may be Diddy. I don't know. With that man on the bed, that's crazy. The real question: who took the video, and why did they? If this man was there against his will, why come they didn't report it to the police and show them the video? That's the real question. Okay, back then when it happened. So that's crazy. It's like I said, if he did anything to Justin Bieber, I'm trying to figure out why aren't they? Yeah, that's Jay-Z, allegedly Jay-Z. If it wasn't Photoshop, like I said before, I don't know. But if he did anything to all these other people, I'm just wondering why they haven't said anything. It's crazy. But anyway, we're gonna move on. I'll finish with whatever else I have to tell you about Diddy later on tonight on Fuckery Friday. Let's go ahead and do the last one, which is Lil Durk, because I want to get everything covered. And we are getting ready to get out of here. Y'all made me miss fixing my house up. But yeah, I'll do it when I come back. Let's see. Let's do Lil Durk. So they claim that Lil Durk, hold on. Yeah, I did all that. Was trying to flee before he was jailed. Let's see what they are talking about. Okay, so let's change this real quick and put Lil Durk name up here. And I'm gonna have to hurry up and go through this real quickly, okay? Because we've been on here for 2 hours, almost 3 hours anyway. So yeah, we're gonna go through this real quick. Let me take Carmelo thing off and edit. And then put Lil Durk. Not Dirk, D-U-R-K. Okay, let's go ahead and cover him real quick, guys. Okay, so the final one we're going to talk about is Lil Durk. And they claim that Lil Durk, this is a video, so I'm going to let y'all listen to it, was attempting to, they said Lil Durk's attempt to flee the U.S. backfired after Apple gave the feds access to his iCloud account. So let's listen to this real quick. Actually, I thought it was going to be a video, but I guess I got to read it now. Damn. Let's see. So they said Lil Durk's attempt to flee the U.S. backfired. Okay. They said the rapper thought he could escape the feds by skipping town on a private jet to Italy after his associates were arrested in Chicago. But he made one big mistake, trusting Apple with his iCloud account. Yeah, you heard it right. Apple gave the feds access to his iCloud, and let's just say things didn't turn out so well for him. And it's safe to say that Lil Durk should have been a little more careful with his digital footprint. So let's see. They got a long complaint here. Okay, so hold on. So they said, so what the lesson here is, folks, if you are planning on doing something shady, maybe don't rely on your iCloud account to keep your secrets safe. It's not foolproof. And as Lil Durk found out the hard way, it can come back to bite you. So, from what I'm reading in this thing, y'all probably already know that he was trying to flee. But why would you put anything on your phone? That's crazy. Why put anything on your phone, in your iCloud account? You know, even when they tell you that the feds or the police or whomever can't get access to your account, read that fine little print where they put in there a little, I guess, a clause or something, or I don't know. They put something in there, clause, I guess. They put additional wording in there telling you that under certain circumstances, law enforcement can see what you wrote or typed. And somebody said when they are presented with a warrant, any and every cloud service must comply. Okay? And that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, they can put anything, they can say it's in triple 4 times, but yet if the feds want that information, they can actually get it. I don't know why people trust these devices. Oh, don't use this. Use WhatsApp because it's encrypted. Don't use this. Use Signal because it's encrypted. They can get into all of that stuff if something is that, important for them to find out. Even when you erase that stuff, they can still find it out. I don't know why people write stuff on social media or on phones or any of those devices. Somebody said, well, folks, now you know, stop trusting all these devices with all your information. As of now, they use your phones, TV, every electronic device that you own and give your information unknowingly to the feds. You big dummy. Somebody said he made all that money and crashed out making dumb decisions with dumb shit. Now his dumb self facing dumb life sentences. Yep. And then somebody said, that's why I would stay broke. No, you need to stop doing crimes. It's not about you being rich. It's about you still engaging in stuff that you should not be engaging in. You're still doing crimes. Okay? Somebody said it would not have happened with the Android. Yes, the hell it would. Because Android is still using computer technology, software, all of that, the same thing. It still would happen. Somebody else said somebody is always watching. And that is true. Now, I don't know, like I said, if this is 100% true or not, if this is what happened. Okay, this is all allegedly, that he was trying to leave. I don't know for sure because, like, I'm just giving the news. You say you've seen it with your own eyes. The government has black hats that can hack a 128-bit encryption in less than 10 minutes. I've seen it with my eyes. Wow. I remember you telling me that. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. People, I can't highlight that because I have to actually wait. Let me go on my actual page. There you go. That's one thing about being on the phone. I have to do this I have to do this in a different way. Okay. So it is what it is. I mean, I don't know why you would put anything in iCloud. I just don't. So let's see. I don't want to go over his whole case or anything, guys. But we know that Banks was arrested. Hold on. Banks' associates were arrested in Chicago early that Thursday morning, and then they did a series of search warrants. Okay. So at the time, Banks was in Fort Lauderdale, where he booked international travel on separate flights to Dubai and Switzerland. But he could not get on either plane, according to a criminal complaint. And that is true right there, because I remember that. Instead, the complaint alleged the FBI learned at about 6:40 p.m. Florida time that Banks had been booked on a private jet to Italy that was scheduled to depart at 9 p.m. So he was trying to trick them. Law enforcement arrested Banks about an hour before the flight in the vicinity of the departing airport. Banks was held in the Broward County Jail until Friday morning, where he was transferred to the custody of U.S. Marshals, according to a county representative. He had his initial appearance Friday afternoon before a magistrate judge and U.S. District Court in Miami. He waived an identity hearing and agreed to remain in custody for transport by the U.S. Marshal's Office to L.A., where he will be arraigned at a later date, according to the U.S. Attorney Office there. Okay? So in Banks' charging documents, federal investigators also said witnesses and or their family members have already received threats and or have been contacted and would appear to be attempts to influence their participation in this investigation. Okay? So that's all the stuff that they have, not all of it, but that's some of the stuff they have on Lil Durk. You know what I'm saying? And again, I don't know why he even used any phones or anything else to plan anything out. And for heaven's sakes, y'all stop telling on y'all stuff in music. That is the stupidest shit I ever heard of. Telling on yourself, giving out information, trying to play the big dude, and then look what happens. That's crazy, man. But anyway, it is what it is. What do y'all think about that? Again, I know you heard it before, but I just wanted to, talk about it again since it came up on my phone again and see what y'all think about that with the iCloud. When people think they stuff is double and triple encrypted, they think that the feds can't get access to it, and that's a damn lie. Okay, they can get access to whatever they want to get access to. So stop thinking y'all slicker and stop erasing shit, changing phones, laptops, and all this shit, because they can go in there and still scrub everything. You better burn that thing up and burn up the digital footprint and everything else if you can. You know what I'm saying? In order for them not to get it. I just say don't put anything on electronic devices. Don't even speak it out. Because like one person said, they can even hear you through the TVs and all that stuff. You just never know. Yeah, I used to work at AT&T telephone company, and you can't hear certain things. I went into the wire room one day. I can actually hear people conversations on the phones, okay, through the wire thing. So I do believe that they can hear certain things. But the interesting thing is, though, why don't they hear people before they commit crimes and go arrest them? So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how that works, but I know when they want to find out something, they can find it out a lot of the time, especially if you're talking on the phone or computer, laptop, or any type of electronical. I'm not electronical, but electronic device. Okay, so be careful with that. And Lil Durk, you see where all that lands you at. So that's crazy, man, on everything. Mm-mm-mm. All right, so y'all, that is going to be it with this live. We was on here for almost 3 hours. I did cover everything in this live. If I get any updates though on Anthony or yeah, I'm glad he did say damn sorry. So Kanye West did apologize to Jay Z and Beyonce for targeting his kids. Okay, their kids. I mean, so I'll tell y'all about that on Fuck Me Friday later on tonight, or in the morning and stuff, okay? And a bunch of other stuff that I got for you guys. Fuckery stories. So tune in tonight if I come on, or either tomorrow morning, which will be afternoon time for you guys, okay? But I'm trying to do it tonight because I got to go ahead and get this house done. I can't be on YouTube all damn day and stuff, all right? And check out my other videos too. Y'all don't forget to thumbs up this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, share, and leave a comment. Thank you guys so much. Let's go back over this again. You can also show additional support by doing a membership for $4.99. If you don't want to do that $4.99 membership per month, you can do a super sticker or a super chat, or you can do a cash app to $Shades Tube. All of these donations, you guys, are used to pay for stuff on this channel. That's it. All right. All right. All right. So again, check, leave any comments you want to. Don't get in my comment section leaving no racial shit though, because you will get checked and then you will get blocked, and that's on everything. All right. So other than that, y'all, you can speak your opinion. Over here, you can speak your opinion, whatever it may be. Just say it in a respectful way. Period. All right. All right. All right. So until later on, or either tomorrow, have a blessed remaining day. Happy and blessed weekend to you guys. And thank you so much for tuning into Shades Tube. I'm out, y'all. Peace out. Thank you, Jermaine. I think he was the only person in the chat. Let me look and see. Jermaine was the only person up here. So thank you so much for being supportive, like always. Jermaine said, "Free Diddy, free Diddy, free Diddy," and stuff. And it is what it is, y'all. All right. Let me go ahead and change these banners. And thanks to everybody in the bushes and everybody who watches this in the replay as well. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. All right. All right. So let me go ahead and change, do this. Hold on. Let me go ahead and change this banner. So I'm going to put this up here initially, but it may be tomorrow. Okay. So there you go, y'all. All right. So I'll see you guys later. And make sure y'all check out all my other videos, and my reaction videos, and my hauls. All right. Peace out, y'all. Be blessed. Let's see how you do this on this daggone phone. Let's see, y'all. I forgot to put this banner up there. I always forget. Hey. So let's go ahead and end this, y'all. See y'all later. Peace out. Have a good day.